Cool. I hit the right button, finally. Good afternoon, everybody. How are we doing today? It is nice to see all of you out there in Lurkland. uh, yeah. I did not get a lot of sleep last night. Like, 5 hours, maybe. I was like, I don't know. I ate right before bed after I got done streaming. And then I had these just awful dreams. I woke up at like, I don't even know. It was early. I was just like, yep, not going back to that. All right. Today's game is there's not really much to talk about, so I'm just gonna dive into the game. A visual novel, which is I hate reading. I hate reading out loud. I hate reading on stream. So I'm making myself do this. So we're gonna see how that goes. It's called Along the Edge. Amazon Prime gave it away probably a month or two ago. So it's on Prime Gaming, or what is it, Amazon Gaming now? Which used to be called Prime Gaming, which used to be the Twitch Game Store, which might be a thing that they discovered again after the leak when they were making a Steam competitor. I have no idea. But Twitch did try to sell games at one point in their own client. Didn't get much proper sleep either. Spent most of the night half sleeping, half watching streamer Fondless Controller. That was fun. I would like to beat System Shock. That's something I want to do. I just haven't decided whether I'm gonna keep going with the with that controller. Hey Z Jam, welcome back. Because fucking wrist, it hurts. And it didn't hurt until about half an hour ago. After I got out of the shower, like my wrist just started to ache when I was doing some setup for the stream here. So I don't know, but like I got bad arthritis anyways. But this guy, those minor movements, they might be getting to me. I don't know. I'm gonna see how I feel tomorrow night. Whether I want to continue on System Shock on a keyboard, or keep using the Cyberman, or go back to Delta Force. I'm not totally sure yet. Totally honest. Thinking about whether that fan is actually gonna do any good where it's at. It's going pretty good. I'm just really tired, ZJam. To answer your question that I just totally ignored, apparently. I hope that you're doing well. Glad to see you again. Yeah, I don't really have anything other than let's just start the game, I guess. Not sure how long I'm gonna last in this. Probably gonna be just the hour stream. I almost moved the other game today. And if this cough doesn't leave me, I might just do that. So I'm not sitting here reading a visual novel and like choking. Because the other game, the game tomorrow, it's a free game over here somewhere. Isn't there like a toggle for install? There we go. It's Aztez. That's tomorrow's game. Almost did that, but I decided to just force myself here to do this. Tony, thank you so much, dude. Your support just means a metric fuck ton to me. 10 months. Damn. Has it really been 10 months? Seek just hit 12. And I guess I hadn't realized that you'd been here like you got here like 2 months after Seek. That's crazy. Time flies. Hope you feel better. Hey, thanks, C-Jam. I appreciate that. Alright. Can you go away? Okay, bye-bye. Not much in the way of options here. Let's get some large text size. That'll maybe help. I'm so bad at reading. What does a visual novel have achievements for? And what are they even met? Like a virgin. What is this game about? I have no idea what this game about. We're going in blind, as always. Hey, Warlock, welcome in. All right. Just delete, start over here. It's probably been 11 because I missed 1 month. Streak only. Ah, gotcha. All right. Let's do it. Along the Edge is an interactive graphic novel. During your adventure, you will be asked to make choices that will define how your story progresses. Some of these choices will have direct consequences, forking the story in one direction instead of another. However, each of your decisions, even the most anecdotic, will have an impact on the personality of the main character, Daphne. Your progress is automatically saved. The button in the bottom left brings you back to the last checkpoint. This allows you to read the latest sentence again, but not to change a choice you've already performed. Hey, Sean. I know Sean's here for this. Sees a visual novel pop up and he's like, yes, yes, yes. Going through all the Shadow Warrior versions, that was exactly December 31st. No, 30th. It was a day before the end of December. Hype, hype, hype. Yeah. No, wait. That was Christmas. That was Christmas Eve. That was Christmas Eve. It really has been that long since then. Wow. 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 I don't know what else to say. What is the newest on Windows 11? I've totally been ignoring it. Hey, Dragon Gym. I'm in absolutely no hurry to try to find TPMs and upgrade. I need a new motherboard. I need a rebuild of the computer. That's kind of like my motherboard is from 2014, I'd say, and its CMOS battery is dead, and I can't get to it because this particular motherboard is permanently attached underneath some heat shielding that you can't really get to. If you know what you're doing, it's like an 8-hour procedure. So I just opted to not. Yeah. Yeah, I know people bought up all the TPM modules. Scalped the shit out of that. So dumb! That seems to be the biggest deal right now. Like, is it even a good operating system or is everything broken? The gaming features aren't out yet. Yeah, I did catch that it wasn't ready for video games. Specifically that. Alright. This button, the hamburger menu, gives you access to display options, full screen window, menu. Options allows you to mute, unmute sounds. Okay. When one decision influences Daphne's personality, one or two symbols will light up at the top. Okay. Globe, moon, star, sun. Okay, that seems kind of obvious. I like this globe symbol. It's pretty good. And along the edge, your decisions are neither good nor bad. The branching story opens different narrative hypotheses, shaping your adventure according to your choices. Choose wisely. Deep breath, Havok. You can do this. You can read things. Doctor. So, is it settled? Yes, I need to finish this. I need this fresh start. This inheritance. It's exactly what I needed to finally turn the page. I know you've convinced yourself of this, but are you sure of what you really wish to achieve by relocating? After all, you recently went through a major trauma, and there's still a lot of ground to cover. Between you and I, you know what I think of your decision, but I can't prevent you from leaving. Did you already find a job there? Yes, I did. I'm substitute teaching for a math teacher at a village's middle school. A pregnancy leave, 6 months. It should give me enough time to get my bearings. Why is she so blurry? Don't you mind giving up your PhD? Your research career was quite promising. I do, but I have no choice. Oh, it's whoever's talking isn't blurry. Of course I do. But if it's the price to pay to get myself out of the situation, then I have to give it a shot. I see. One last thing. I know your relationship with Frank is quite tense. It is. We recently broke up, you know, and I used to count on his support. After so many years together, I need time. Hang on one second. There's a bot thing I need to turn off. Not that one, but it's coming, damn it. I gotta get rid of it. See, my brain is already like, anything but reading. Let's do anything else. Havok, come on, let's go. Alright, there we go. I guess you're fully aware that you're about to break your ties with him. Are you sure you won't regret that later? Did you at least inform him of your plans? It's none of his business anymore. No, I didn't. And it doesn't concern him anymore. Alright. Listen, Daphne. You have my number. Please don't be afraid to call me if you need anything. I'm counting on you. What? Okay, I will. Then all I can do is wish you all the best. When are you leaving? Tomorrow. Chapter 1. I don't know why I'm just staring at what Haggard said. I don't actually know what to say. Is it awesome or is it just whatever? I like this art, like, a lot. August. I'm leaving tomorrow. So italics are going to be inner thoughts, probably. I've inherited this family house. My grandmother's. I haven't known her, and now I never will. My mother had burned the bridges with this side of the family. The only side, by the way, since I've never known who my father was. I remember the birthday cards, though. My mother had hidden them between 2 piles of laundry in the linen closet. If the link had been broken, it wasn't my grandmother's fault. And here I stand 10 years later, inheriting the big house 300 miles away, having myself cut off all contact with my mother. That's what they call karma, isn't it? What the fuck's direct storage? Haggard. Oh, you know, maybe I did read about that. What's that? But I don't remember what it was. I remember reading about it, but just totally blanked it as something that I didn't care about at the time. The other PhD students asked me to meet them at the bar. I could also go see Frank to say goodbye. That would be good for gaming. That would be great for gaming. Okay. Cool. I told Dr. Durant I didn't want to tell him I was leaving. But it's my last chance to do this by the book. Am I really sure of my choice? And, of course, I can also just go home. What should I do? Alright, chat, what do you want to do? Go say goodbye to Frank? Go home? Go to the bar? I'll let you guys help me here. Let's meet Frank. Alright. Let's go to Frank's flat. I took a bus, then another one. And then I walked. And my steps brought me back to the old apartment we used to share. We used to share with Frank. Wait, what? Who's we? After a couple seconds of hesitation, I rang the intercom. Nobody. I don't know if I should feel relieved or disappointed. I try again, no avail. I'll just go home, finish packing, then it's too late to go to the bar. That's it, everything I own is packed in a couple boxes. I'd like to be sad to leave, but I really don't mind. My last night here. I don't know what I'm hoping to find there. Maclad and ABC menus were MVPs last night. How late did your stream? Oh, did they both donate it? Wait. ABC Minnie Mouse? Isn't it Min User? Was that a different person? Or did Haggard do a typo? I stay up till 1 a.m. Not very late. We got to the second level. I'm just trying to decide whether we're gonna play more. I don't know, one sex. Okay. I haven't. I want to play more System Shock. I just haven't decided whether we're gonna keep using that controller or not. Still thinking on it. It was a good stream though. Did you get to 50% at least, Haggard? Mid user, okay. ABC Minnie Mouse. Hey Slim Fat, how you doing? Did that work, by the way? Did the camera change for a split second when you did that? I blinked. It's real quick. It's like 500 milliseconds. It did. Perfect. Great. I'm toying around with ideas there. It switched fast. Yeah, I didn't want it to take up too much time, but thought the game turned red for a bit. Oh! That would be so much cooler. I'm thinking about how I would do that. To put a color filter. Oh. Oh shit, that's super easy. All right, hang on. Hang on. Anything to not read more. Hang on 1 second. I can do this. I don't know if this is exactly what I want. I might need to play with it more. Appears to be broken now. What's going on? I'm messing with something. So we'll wait for. It came into Magic in the Works. We'll wait. Let's wait for the light to shut down and then do another color. Because they don't interrupt. So we gotta wait for yellow, green, and blue. I think they stack. So there's yellow. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna keep reading. So it has like a bar, or there's like, you can choose between a logo and a bar that say Lumia Stream as a browser source. And I made it like 100% of the 1920 by 1080 and then dropped its transparency down, right? Its opacity. So it'll give it a tint. It's a different program that controls how long it's up. I just want to see if that works once this is all timed up. Okay. Everything I own, it's all packed up. Hairball, how are you doing today? It's good to see you. I feel like I don't run into you as often these days. Work must have you going. A fresh start. I'm trying to convince myself that maybe Dr. Durante is right. Maybe all this is nothing but evading the issue. Did my mother feel the same way when she left grandmother's village 30 years ago? trying to decide how old she is. She's 20s. Am I walking in her footsteps after all? The difference is that she had me. I'm leaving alone. But she had me. Yeah, finally back to a weekend. Nice. I'm asking myself too many questions. I've taken my decision. I can't afford to go back. I can't undo what I've done. I'll try to get some sleep. Is she wearing Mad Max goggles? Because yes. Also, I don't think we're in America. There's that blue. So when the blue's over, we'll try another color. 300 miles later. She's driving on the wrong side of the car. I got up way too early. The trip is going to be long. Little by little, civilization slowly gives way to empty spaces. The highway is replaced by an interlacing of small roads, and the clear direction given on the major routes turns into a tracking game that's getting increasingly trickier as I get closer to my destination. The road goes through the village, which I cross quickly. Although I thought it was getting away from the agitation of the city, all this peace and serenity seems to hide something nefarious. Alright, let's give a color a shot here, see if it pops up. How about purple? Alright, popped up for a second. Let me extend that out. Let me do that real quick. Make that visibility have what? Couple zeros. I think purple will still work if I just do green here now. Okay. But it'll still be stuck on the previous color. It doesn't exactly tint the image all that much, does it? But it does kind of let you know. I'll play with that more. You know, okay, you know what I should do? Here's what we're going to do. We are going to chroma key in static like I have everywhere else, but we're going to like make that static be the mask to that layer. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. We'll do that right now. I can do this. All right, put a mic on this scene. Hey, Deactivated Styles, how you doing, buddy? I was just hit with a great idea, so hang on one second. I had a filter here. You picked up a Funko. We went great. Yeah, I'm in the scene with the thing here. This is the this is the light. The color of the light. So if you change the light right now, this would change color. Feel free. We're going to make it that. And I'm going to put an image mask on it. That's going to be a GIF. Video projects. Overlays. So probably like maybe this one. No, not that one. Yeah, maybe still too violent. What do you do? Maybe this is the one. Let's do this. I mean, it's still pretty violent, but... Okay. So, chroma key. We're going to do custom black. Hey? Is this, hold on. Oh, there it is. There it is. So this is what we want here. Let me change the color real quick. So we'll do purple. Alright, so now there's purple static on the screen, and it'll be there for 50,000 milliseconds, I think. I'll probably make it shorter. Let's take it down to 1. I love building shit. Let's take it down to 1. Actually, no. Let's do this. Let's try 5 there. No, not 1 millisecond. You wouldn't even be able to see that! Let me, see. Green. This should start the timer. I don't want it up there very long, because it is pretty distracting. Okay, so that's not terrible. That should actually be pretty cool. And that's how you build stuff. Alright, there's green. When green's over, go ahead and play with it. Just add like an extra layer to the lights. I've been meaning to do more with the lights forever and just haven't. And I'll look at my other static videos and see what else I got that isn't as distracting or is more on brand. That's just the least intrusive one. Almost ominous. Something nefarious. I really like this style. After a couple miles, I turn into a dirt track overrun with weeds. Go through the gate, marking the limit of the family domain. The limits of the family domain. Then on the right, I see a small house. Small stone house. That must be the outbuilding where the couple of wardens live. It was specified in the Act of Secession. The notary made me sign. I decide to leave the car there. I don't feel like driving all the way back in reverse if the track turns out to be a dead end. That's a shotgun. Walking a bit further, I see a man coming towards me. He's carrying a rifle and a dead rabbit by the ears. Heck, to be honest, most of the time systems won't even be accurate to the timing. What? What do you mean? Oh, No, they won't. You have to really time it out, but... Hello, miss. You're on private property. Did you take a wrong turn? Ask for directions. Hello, I'm looking for the Delator family domain. Am I in the right direction? Oh, you're not lost then. Why are you here? Hey, Jay. I'm Daphne. Adelaide's granddaughter. Gerard Bortine. I'm the warden. Nobody told me you were coming. Is the house open? No. Well, yes. It's been a couple months now since Mr. Delator passed away. Mrs. Delator passed away. So, with my wife, Gilbert, we made sure everything was weatherproofed, but the door isn't locked. Ooh, arty game. Did you just start into it? Yeah. Yeah. Basically, we're running away from a city girl problem into a grandparent's home where they passed away that her mother cut all contact with. And she's cut contact with her mother and had a bad relationship, and something happened. And she's leaving the city. Leave it all behind. In her 20s. I'm guessing. Really? Well, the only path goes by our house. There's not a lot of visitors anyway. The village usually avoids coming up here, you know. Oh. Why? Why are they avoiding the house? Because it's not theirs, dipshit. People get worked up for nothing around here. An old lady living alone in the big house who doesn't go out much, that's enough to make them talk. Thank you, sir. I'll be in the house if you're looking for me. I'll send my wife, Gilbert. Am I saying that? Is that actually Gilbert? Or is there... That just seems so... not right. She'll help you open the shutters. Keep going along the path. It's not very far, and you can't get lost. Gilberte? 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 Is it? I might just keep saying Gilbert because it's easier. Alright. Goodbye, Mrs. 14. Have a nice day. I'm just being snarky. I have no idea. Jackass. About 500 feet further, the path in the woods opens on a kind of meadow where the house was built. Hilbert is worse. Hilbert is like hairball. You know what? If Zork had visual images like this... Oh, that's her name, Hilbert? Helbert? Although several generations of Delators lived here, I discovered this legacy for the first time. Ben Easy is here for the chatty stream. Welcome in. No! No, what? Jay's like a minute behind. Hey again, Benz. The building is impressive, with this tower in the middle of the facade. The last remain of an older version of the castle are certainly at the origin of my family name. Zilber? As promised, the door isn't locked and opens on an entrance hall plunged in darkness. As I cross the threshold, I am seized by the coolness of the old stones, breaking with the searing heat of the midday sun shining over the gardens. I can't see much of the room, but the size promises to be intimidating. That might be a nice change from the tiny flats I used to live in the city. Gilbert? God damn it. The hell is a ZH sound? I'm desperately trying to open one of the windows to let the light in when I am surprised by a voice coming from the entrance. Hello? Miss? Hello? Is you? I have Windows 98 French software that I found at a Goodwill that I'm going to dive into at some point to talk to my French friends. You know, funnily enough, right after I bought that, I was over in Lilith Loom's stream. She has a redeem in her channel now to make her speak English for 5 minutes, which is freaking awesome. So that's been a lot of fun. An old woman standing at the threshold. Yes? My husband told me you were coming to the house. Are you planning on staying for the night? Much more than the night, I'm moving in. Oh, and call me Daphne, please. I'll get my share of Miss and Madam when I start working at the school. Are you aware of the inheritance? So you're Madam's granddaughter, then. She used to talk about you a lot, you know. I do not. I remember you, well, I mean, it was a long time ago. You were still a baby when Miss Sophie left. Madam never got over it. And she stayed in her castle and went fucking crazy. Which is when the killing started. Come on, story, let's go. Well, I'm sure you have a lot to tell me, but can't you do it while helping me open the shutters? Oh, sure, I'm sorry. So, are you moving into the castle? You're going to work in the village middle school, aren't you? Yes, I'm a math teacher. I'm going to teach there. Well, at least for the next 6 months as a substitute. So tell me, how do you want to proceed? I mean, I know you've been working for my grandmother, but I'm not sure I can afford your services, if you see what I mean. The inheritance left me barely enough to cover the cost of the house for a couple of years. Oh, don't worry. Gerard and I, we've retired 2 years ago, but Madam didn't forget us in the legacy. She was kind enough to let us live in the outbuilding for the rest of our days. We'll help for as long as we can. My husband and I, we've done this all our life. Work doesn't scare us, and anyway, it would be boring to have nothing to do all day long. Alright, your help is more than welcome. That's great news. Without some help, I don't know how I would have managed to get everything done in such a big house. And we'll be happy to give you a hand. Would you like me to get some groceries from the market tomorrow? I used to do it for Madam since Miss Sophie left. She didn't go out much. No, don't worry, I'll go. It'll give me an opportunity to check the village out. Miss Bortine helps me make my bed. The windows, now wide open, let the stuffy smells out while ushering in golden light of the sun, setting on this nice summer evening. Jesus, I hate reading. That's the pronunciation guide you were watching for?
Gilbert. Gilbert. Gilbert.
Gilbert. Gilbert.
This is the French pronunciation of the name. The same name may exist in other languages with different pronunciations. Check other possible pronunciations or similar names for free at voxifier.com.
That's exactly right, Jay. I'm making myself do this. While I die on the inside. Why is there music? I don't know. It's gonna give me a strike, right? You know, my soundbar in the living room, if there isn't constant noise, it goes to sleep. It comes back on, but it takes it like a second or 2 seconds. I had a lot of problems with that playing the original Metal Gear Solid. It would go to sleep in between dialogue. So I have to turn the TV speakers on, and then I get like a weird echo, and it'd be like, you know, all tinny, and then the sound would come back on. But PlayStation 1 games are real bad for that, and there's no way around it. It's just fucking Vizio soundbar. Yeah, it sucks. We went through 5 soundbars before we went with that Vizio, which was the best of all of them. Well, it wasn't the best, and it wasn't the best sounding, but it's the only one that didn't have a fucking touchscreen on it. Something about the way the house is wired, plus the radios down at the end. When we walked by the soundbar, it would flip sources and go to 100% volume. When you walked by it, or shifted in the room, or put your tongue to the left cheek. So we can't have that. Running over and yanking the wall plug out randomly. So we took back 5 soundbars. Or we took back 4. This was the 5th one. My NVIDIA Shield tablet, I couldn't use it while it was plugged in. The phones are alright. But some touch devices, I can't plug them into the house. Believe me when I tell you that sucks. When we upgrade what's in the living room for sound, it won't be a sound bar. It'll be a real speaker system, but we've had this Vizio for like 8 years now. We got it in 2013. And it's 5.1, so it does the job. Just, I hate that it falls asleep on you. They have hard power switches. Then she leaves me alone for my first night in my new home. I spent it watching the antique television in the kitchen while eating. For dinner, the leftovers of a sandwich I bought earlier on the highway. That actually, you know how delightful that sounds, honestly? There is a very specific feeling I have of like the first night in a new place where everything's in boxes and you don't have shit and you can't cook stuff, so you get something and then it's just like, you know, entertain me till I fall asleep, but I'm too excited to fall asleep, right? Soundbars are the future, old man. You turn off your mixer, yeah. Wow, it's a really shitty headache thing. Ow. It's like, don't use that side of your brain, asshole. I try to get some sleep. Far from reassuring sounds of cars and lights off in the city. Far from the okay. With this forest silence only interrupted by some disturbing squeakings of the floorboards and hooting of a hunting owl. Well, they're definitely better than built-in sound. At least the one I have is. I did hear some really bad ones. When I mean sound bar, it's like this long. Like it is a beefy thing with subwoofer and rear satellite speakers. It's not like a little, you know, like a little Bluetooth speaker or anything. It's a pretty significant Vizio. And it does put out a good sound, but that thing where it goes to sleep is stupid as hell. It's not surprising I got up in quite a bad mood. And if the sight of an empty fridge hadn't pushed me to act, I certainly would have succumbed to inviting the comfort of a sofa and wasted my day napping in the living room. Where do you think we are? Is this France? Italy? France with those names, right? They're French names? Is that what we kind of decided? The market, it wasn't exactly what I imagined. We have all these romantic notions of a picturesque little country town market, but this was nothing but purely functional. Nothing romantic in the butcher's stall, nor the fishmonger's radio. The fishmonger's radio turned in way too loud on a local station that seems to broadcast at this hour of the day. A playlist of songs that used to be popular but are utterly old-fashioned nowadays. I'm buying some bread when someone boldly cuts me in the line. When someone boldly cuts me in the line. I'm buying bread when someone boldly cuts me in the line. Now we're getting to the murder. Games are art. No. I'm assuming he had a pocket knife. That's funny, Tony. Give me 3 baguettes and 2 nuts. Breads. Sliced, please. I'm sorry, but I believe it was my turn. It'll only take an instant, don't worry. Keep calm or get worked up, chat. What do we do? What do we do? Stanislaus. Worked up. Here we go. Get worked up about sound bars. Who do you think you are? You're not from around here, are you? What does it have to do with anything? Listen, miss, please inform yourself before you start making a scene. It's a little bit embarrassing. See, I'm done already. It didn't take that long, did it? Have a nice day. The man put some change in the baker's hand before disappearing in the street. Seriously, who's this guy? You're not from around here, are you? It's Malteri's son. His family owns a sawmill that employs half of the town. As for the other half, they're all in business with them one way or another. Does it give him the right to behave like this? You shouldn't cross the Malteres. You know, they've been in town for generations and people say all sorts of things about them. What kind of things? Strange accidents, businesses suddenly going bankrupt. People are quite superstitious around here. Strange accidents, businesses suddenly going bankrupt. People are... Okay, it doesn't make any sense, really. They shouldn't take advantage of people like this. Really? Well, it's the countryside. A lot of people here still believe in this kind of stuff, I guess. People are free to think what they like. This is Caroline Bouchard, by the way. I'm leaving the area soon, so you'll understand I don't want to drag myself into this. The others told me to be careful with this family, and I don't want any trouble. I see. I realized I've already been here a couple of days, and I haven't taken the time to visit the house properly. With my tight schedule, I stayed in the main room, going from bedroom to bedroom. Going from the bedroom to the kitchen and the living room. It's high time I take advantage of the weekend and give myself a grand tour. So, what tight schedule? Has she been working immediately? Like, are we just skipping that grandma's cleavage? I didn't see it. I was not paying attention. Maybe I'll learn a thing or two about my grandmother and this family I know nothing about. I could ask a couple questions of Mrs. Bortine. Until now, she has remained very evasive. If I go see her outside her work hours, she might be more inclined to answer questions for me. She's a very discreet woman, and somehow always manages not to be in the same room as me. If I leave the kitchen for a while, to take a shower, for example, when I come back I always find that the leftovers of my breakfast have been put away, the table has been cleaned up, and the dishwasher is gently humming. I told her several times not to make my bed, that I'm perfectly capable of doing it. She seems to acknowledge, but keeps making it the next morning anyways. So I guess she might enjoy a friendly visit. They're vampires. What better way to keep, control wood in the area? Where should I start? All right, where are we going, chat? Where are we going? We got question Bortine. Check the tower. Check your mother's old bedroom. Mama. All right. My grandmother used to live alone in this big house. She kept most of the rooms closed to stay in the ground floor and the left side of the building. Mama just killed a man. Oh no. And now he's Fred? I have taken over her quarters, and with the nights getting colder, I'm happy I don't have to keep the whole house warm. I checked the other rooms, the parlors and ground floor, multiple bedrooms above. Wow, time is flying, so it's already fall, yeah? Everything seems frozen in time. The furniture covered with white linen sheets, maybe waiting for better days to return, like when Adelaide wasn't a widow yet and my mother was still living under her roof. Her old bedroom hasn't changed since her teen years, even if I can tell that has hurriedly made the room for me, this baby who was about to be born. There are still some band posters from another age pinned to the wall. And the crib where I might have spent my first few nights before my mother decided to leave. But there wasn't any white linen sheets to protect the furniture in this room. It looks like it hasn't been cleaned up very recently. It has been. What to do next? Alright, let's go to the tower. I didn't find the entrance to the tower. I searched inside and outside the house, but no door seems to lead into it. After randomly exploring the corridors of the room, I had to admit defeat. I'll have to ask Miss Bortine about this mystery. However, while I was searching for the damned entrance, my feet took me to the basement where I discovered a treasure of old wines. That sounds delightful. Bonus! Some of these wines here are probably worth more money than the whole castle. I am disappointed, man. The most recent bottles were around 30 years old. I guess my grandmother wasn't much of a drinker. And the wine cellar must have remained untouched since her husband passed away. Did my mother come here during her teen years, defying her parents' rules to steal a bottle to share with her friends in the village? Was I conceived during one of these parties, celebrated by sacrificing these rare vintage on the altar of youth with my mother, Sophie, not being sober enough to resist the charms of a yokel lung farmer? Anyways, moving on. How about we don't fantasize about our parents, kiddo? When I was old enough to ask, she always answered with a hand gesture. Well, she doesn't know who her father is. And he's going to be in this town. So that's going to be a revelation at some point in the story. With a hand gesture that my father was from the village. Yeah. I don't know if I've shown this one. I don't think I have. Aquanox. So this is the first Aquanox game. Interrupt immediately. So this is a 6 Degrees of Freedom game that takes place underwater. Then 3D graphics. Features mission-based action game with stunning individual team-based underwater combat, uniquely detailed 3D graphics and real-time, richly rendered underwater of steep mountain ranges, intricate caverns, deadly currents, and glittering underwater cities. 34 missions, 30 in campaign, plus 4 instant battles. Interesting the way to put that. Featuring 8 unique underwater fighting vehicles, multiplayer modes, land and internet, including deathmatch, team-based, play with internet-based player matching. Matching, it says. Over 40 different enemies and vicious undersea monsters. Riveting story set in a fantastic environment featuring over 70 NPCs with over 5,000 lines of dialogue. Scalable 3D technology is optimized for the latest graphic accelerator advancements. Original 3D soundtrack music. Teen 13 plus, violence. Fish Tank, massive. There you go. EAX, Pentium 4, Bank Video, Miles, GameSpy, NVIDIA. The toughest part of playing this game may be taking your eyes off the spectacular graphics. Thanks, Next Gen. I didn't know about the dialogue, actually. I've never committed to playing this game. But it looks gorgeous. I played a demo at one point, but it's been over a decade. Go deep. I don't know what you thought you were doing there, Voice Stack. I have no idea. Are you talking about Aquanox 2? What sequel? Because I know about the Deep Descent. That thing's been in development hell for a long time. I was in the beta of that. It was not great. Because it was just multiplayer stuff. Alright, so you got a box here that has a place for the CD, which is nice. Look at that. Look at that. Just kaboom! Except it's more like bubble. What? The quote? There's your CD. There's your requirements. Needs 32 megabytes of memory on the graphics card there. Sound Blaster Live compatible. So this probably be a Windows XP game then. Yeah, oh, that quote, yeah. Return this card to win cool stuff from Fish Tank. You might win a game, a t-shirt, other cool Fish Tank goodies. Wouldn't that have been cool? Honestly, I would have filled that one out. They aren't really... I mean, gender and date of birth is the only thing there that's like, eh... But they're not, it's not like, I don't know, it just isn't a lot of work, right? Just isn't a lot of work. You don't have to like take the side off your computer to start writing what stuff you have in it. You know what I mean? Here's a manual. That might be a CD key, I'm not sure. Weird place to put it out here, but you know. The old ones were the old ones. The old ones were... The old ones are, the old ones shall be. H.P. Lovecraft. Huh. The Dunwich Horror. They worshipped the dragon, who gave authority to the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, who is the beast who is able to make war with him? Revelation 13:4. That's yeah. That's something. Dear player, about 5 years have passed since the world traveled to Aqua. The world traveled to Aqua for the very first time in a post-apocalyptic sea world where everything was hauntingly different, yet strangely familiar. The game was called Archimedean Dynasty. Back then... Wait, is this a sequel to something else? Is Archimedean Dynasty a different game? Jay? Do you know? Because that sounds really familiar. Yeah, it's a sequel? Thanks, Warlock. The Great Biont War, not to be confused with Bions from Hellbender. Yeah. Uh-huh. The Biont War. There you go. Biont. Self-confidence, something we don't usually lack. We must nonetheless confess that we never have predicted the dedication and loyalty of many players have felt and still feel for the world of Aqua. It's taken a long time for us to write the next chapter in the life of mercenary Emerald Dreadeye Flint. Emerald Dreadeye Flint. Deadeye Flint. The time we have painstakingly remodeled the world of Aqua in exquisite detail, and to recreate a completely new technology to tell the story. You hold the results of this effort in your hands, Aquanox. If we succeed in causing the same enthusiasm among you as many players have felt for our Comedian Dynasty, then that time has not been wasted, the Massive Team. That's kind of cool. I didn't know this was a sequel to something else. A massive tech demo. It'd be neat to try on your K6 too. Would you PM me that? So our Comedian Dynasty wasn't a game, or it was like a tech demo like Far Cry or Crysis? Yeah, this on GOG, but then again, I have a whole lot of things on GOG. Same. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got this on Steam too. There's a lot of like setup help here. No, it was a game too, but AMD pushed it hard to show off their new CPUs at the time. Oh, no shit. Cool. Hi, Flint, baby. It says here. Next to the girl with the cute hair. So this is all like conversation trees and stuff. This is gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna play this at some point. We're gonna play a lot of things at some point. Or die trying. Highway to the torpedo zone. Machina Antarctica has actually got a nice ring to it. So there's a lot of terms in here. It's like a whole encyclopedia back here. Blaster Odyssey Gamer. Advanced HD. So I've got an Odyssey in my Windows XP machine. Yeah. Yeah. I always appreciate when you pull out the book and it's one continuous image rather than like two sides. Yeah. I like that. So that's Aquanox Deep Descent. Or no, Aquanox. Aquanox 1. Sorry, not the Deep Descent. I don't know if that third game is ever going to come out. It's like stuck in the same kind of limbo as Descent Underground or whatever it was. Aquanox The Angel Tears is the PlayStation remake. The title did not pass Sony's quality assurance test and has massive... The third game came out last year? Say what? On my way. It's actually out. Oh, it wasn't on my wish list. That explains a lot, actually. I understand what you're saying now, Jay. Probably copyrighted music. I don't think so, no. Hey, Monique. This really isn't giving us much, is it? Has there not been music from the game this whole time?
In Aquanaut's deep descent, you are awoken from cryostasis into a deep-sea dystopia torn by the struggle for resources and survival. You can experience
Oh, so it was messed up. My bad.
other Aquanauts in player versus player dog. There are more than 5 different factions. From the militant Atlantic.
Sorry about that. You guys haven't been getting music or nothing.
To the Clans Union, who are technologically advanced warriors, united in pushing underwater exploration to its limits. It's up to you to find out what their hidden agendas are. Throughout your adventure, there will be several types of customizable ships at your disposal. To give you an edge.
But will this work with a hands-on throttle system? Because that's the important question.
Various breaker torpedo launchers, or perhaps the close-range shrapnel, to name a few. Survival of the fittest. Wrecks and lost cargo are waiting to be salvaged.
Ooh.
Head through the tunnels. I'll keep the Bions busy. Whatever happens, you must survive.
They're coming around. We need to get out of here. Now!
Get out of here.
Well, that sucks. So it doesn't support anything other than keyboard, mouse, and gamepad. Well, it's not because of them. It's because the developers decided not to. Can only be played with a mouse, keyboard, and gamepad. That's really unfortunate. I mean, in reality, that's how I play Overload, is with a mouse and half of a controller. But we'll see. All right, let's get back to our game. Oh, when I was old enough to ask, okay, hand gesture. She doesn't know who her father is. Maybe I could bring a bottle to Mrs. Vortine. Yeah, let's take her a bottle. Why not? Way to go, dumbass! As I take a bottle from the shelf to decipher its dusty label, it slips from my hands and breaks. Suddenly, I'm overwhelmed by this feeling, as if I was violating something sacred. trampling the memory of my grandfather who might have selected this precise finish to celebrate something special. I begin to question my intentions. Offering this bottle as an honest mark of affection towards a kind old lady, or am I planning to get Mrs. Bortine drunk in order to extort more information from her? A white Bergogny somewhere. Somebody's Googling how wrong that was. I can feel it now. I can feel your fingers typing. How you're supposed to say that and how Havok said it. And comparing the two. Bergogny. She should like it. We don't know her at all. And anyways, I don't have to drink myself blind with Mrs. Bortine. I'm sure I can drink responsibly. What should I do next? Alright. Let's go interrogate. Good morning. When I was getting the wine to do this, I didn't think it was like 8 a.m. Right? We're about to get judged so hard. So hard. Oh, hi, Miss Daphne. My joints are aching today. It must be the weather getting colder. Summer always goes so fast. It's almost fall already. Can you believe it? But enough talk about me. I'm sure you haven't come here to hear an old maid complain about her rheumatism. How can I help, miss? Totally and socially fine. Okay. I brought you a bottle. I found this bottle in the cellar. Would you like to share a small glass with me? Oh, I'm not sure it's reasonable, miss. Allow me to insist. It would really be my pleasure. You wouldn't let me drink it by myself, would you? All right then, if you insist. But just a small glass for me. Something else? Oh, so we did drink a glass. Okay. Tell me how it was like in the old days. Tell me how it was like in the old days. I mean, before Mom left. When your mother left, we were already at the end of the rope. If you allow me, miss. There were only your grandmother, Madame Adelaide, and Miss Sophie living here. Your grandfather died when your mother was a little girl. An illness took him without warning. The doctors didn't know what to do for the poor man. But when I had arrived, it was something else. There were lots of people living in the castle. The cousins, the uncles, the aunts, a swarm of children. What happened? I don't know, really. There were some unexplained deaths, accidents. Some of them left the area, got out of touch. It all started when the Maltese bought the sawmill. What's the connection? Do you really think there might be a link? I mean, there's no logical connection between buying a sawmill and these accidents. I can't tell, miss. All I can see is that when the Maltese flourish, the Delators wither. I met Maltery's son at the bakery. This hooligan? I know it's none of my business, but you should be very wary of him. He's good for nothing who spends his time doing who knows what hanging around in his car. Damn kids and their cars. Damn kids and their modes of transportation. I don't judge people. I agree with you. You're right. He acted like a jerk with me. Do you see exactly my point? Well, since you're asking about the past, would you like to see the old picture albums? Sure. Tell me where I can find them. I'd love to take a look, thanks. The cupboard in the living room. There are even some pictures taken by your great-grandfather you'll see. Something else? Ask about the tower. I couldn't find an entrance to the tower. Do you know how to get inside? Well, I can't say, miss. No, I couldn't tell you how to get in if my life depended on it. Your grandmother used to say that it had been walled up, and we'd rather not know what was inside. Do you mean that no one got inside the tower since what, 30 years ago? 40 years ago? Whoa, way more than that. I'm 67 and I've been living here since I was 14. And I always knew the tower like this. So no one knows what's inside, right? You must have your own idea, don't you? You must have heard some stories. These idiots tell in the village, witchcraft and such. Don't listen to them. Your grandmother was a great woman, you hear me? What, witchcraft, really? Tell me, what's the story? Well, I really put my foot where my mouth is, as I say. Must be the wine. But I've talked too much already. Please don't insist. Something else? How about another drink? Can I top you off? It's quite early, miss. I'm not sure it's a good idea. You're right. There can be too much of a good thing. Something else? Mother's bedroom. I've visited the house, gone into every room, and I've noticed all the furniture was covered with white linen sheets. Yes, it's Madam, your grandmother, who asked me to close most of the rooms. She lived alone in the house, but she never had any visitors. It was to prevent the furniture from being damaged. Why are you asking? Do you want me to open up the rest of the house? Well, that's a good idea. It's a bit extra work for you. But it'll definitely improve my quality of life. One of the rooms, I guess, is my mother's old bedroom. Why wasn't it closed, as you say? Because the madam asked me to keep it freshly cleaned. You know, when Sophie left, it broke her heart. She wasn't the same afterwards, right until she died. She never gave up hope that your mother would come back. She asked me to make her room every day, just in case, she used to say. She would have loved to know you. The pretty young woman you've become. Oh, I'm sorry. I digress. Must be a little pick-me-up you've brought me. Something else? I'll see you later. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. I'll come back later. Was a weird way to end that conversation. What should I do next? Look at the pictures albums. Yeah. I found these pictures where Miss Bortine told me they would be. To discover that my great-grandfather had an early passion for the dark room, and that his photography was from the last century, had survived time. The family was larger then, with a swarm of children in the gardens and large tables at the holiday gatherings. If you could read worry on the adults' faces in the future ruin and dereliction of the house, the Delators could already crack the walls and yellow the wallpaper. It wasn't showing on their photos. I found a couple of pictures of my mother as a child first, then as a young girl. I must admit I was moved by this discovery, since I had never seen what she used to look like when she was younger. The last picture shows her belly getting rounder and rounder. Then nothing. No more pictures, as if nothing worth documenting had happened in the last 30 years. Talking with Miss Bertine aroused my curiosity. The tower, the village, the Maltries. And I thought my relocation would mean living a life of austerity and isolation. What's going on in the village is, I must admit, much more intriguing than I anticipated. Unfortunately, the chores of everyday life catch up with me before I have the leisure to think about it. I have no choice but to dedicate the last days of August in preparation for my classes at the middle school. And I didn't realize how time-consuming it was. So I spent most of my time confined to the house, bonning up on the textbooks of each class I had been given. Then the first day of school arrived, and I quickly found my bearings in my new job. I would never have thought teaching mathematics would give me so much pleasure and satisfaction. Thus, I quickly got into a routine, and the days began to pass me by like trains. Huh. Chapter 2. I have been totally ignoring all the symbols at the top. September. Oh, so it's only been 1 month. Who will fall asleep? Me or you guys? Okay. I decided to take advantage of the weekend and go back to the market. I'm pretty sure someone will finally agree to tell me more than the tidbits I've gathered up until now. Especially about the Maltery family, which seems to mesmerize half the village while the other half looks terrified at the mere mention of its name. I should start with the bakery. Mrs. Bouchard should be about finished with her season. She doesn't risk much in sharing some gossip, since she'll soon be leaving until next summer. Oh. Bakery is a seasonal thing? What? I mean, I suppose it once was with crops, but grain and stuff keeps, right? Flour keeps. Kind of always has. Which is why bread is a thing. So I wonder what makes the bakery here seasonal. Should she go to Florida in the winter? I make out Gerard Bortine on the other side of the square. He's talking to someone, a tall man with certain composure. I could walk up to him so he introduces me, but the baker is about to close and I might not get another chance. Yeah, we're gonna go talk to the baker. Hello, Mrs. Bouchard. Ah, hello, miss. You're in luck. I was about to close. You're finishing your season? Yes, I am. We've stayed a bit longer than we anticipated, but that's it. We're leaving. 2 weeks off, then we're moving to the Alps, my husband and I. We're doing the ski season there. It's a traveling baker. Oh, it's going to be quite a change. I can't say I'll miss the place. It paid quite well, but I don't like the atmosphere around here. So, it'll be a baguette as usual? Sure, but I wanted to ask. Yes. What do you know about the Malterys? I told you I don't like to talk about them. I don't want any trouble. But you'll be leaving soon. What are you afraid of? The Badland family? Yeah. But you'll be leaving soon. What are you afraid of? What's the worst that could happen? What are you afraid of precisely? You seem like a fine young woman, so listen to me carefully. She takes me by the arm, puts her face close to mine, and whispers. The Maltery? They're sorcerers? Yes. That's how they hold everyone in their grips. If you do something they don't like, bad things happen. How do you think I got this job? Bakers don't take a 3-month holiday. Mr. Blanchard, the owner of this shop, spent 3 months in the hospital, the poor soul. He fell all the way down a staircase. The other storekeepers, they told me he had had words with the mayor. With the mayor? Well, sure. Yves Maltery. He's the mayor of the village, didn't you know? No, I didn't. Apparently, they had a talk one evening. Some petty quarrel about land register and a fence that wasn't at the right place or something. And then, bim. The next day, he falls down the stairs just like that. But it's impossible. It must be a coincidence. This kind of thing can't be real. When it happens once, it's a coincidence, for sure. But when it happens every time somebody goes up against the Malterys, Thank you for agreeing to talk to me. I'll be discreet, don't worry. Well, you know as much as I do now. Be careful around them. I wouldn't like it if something happened to you. It'd be my fault. Don't worry. Goodbye, Mrs. Bouchard. Hey, Dragon Gem. I look around the square, Mr. Bertine and this mystery man, but they seem to have left in the meantime. Too bad. Then I shop around, asking about the Maltry while refilling my fridge at the same time. Unfortunately, now that I've been identified as the young heiress to the village, the villagers have become mute, strangely polite and distant. As I bring my groceries back to the car, rain begins to fall. And it doesn't stop for the whole weekend. And the start of the next week. And until the end of time, rain, rain, rain. I'm at school teaching geometry to one of my classes when nature finally cares to give us the sun back. But my respite is short-lived when I discover a bit later a convocation. A convocation to the director's office in my teacher's room locker. Even if I'm on the other side of the fence and I no longer risk a detention, I must admit I'm a bit worried, which adds a threatening feeling to this otherwise radiant September day. When I venture inside the director's office, I discover that Mr. Chastanet, the director, is having a heated debate with someone who must be rather annoyed, mother of one of my pupils. The poor man is livid, using his desk as a shield, and so he is hunched up on his big leather chair. He seems to be about to melt into the upholstery. Jean Chastanet, please, Mrs. Lavik. You must admit that your demands are most unusual, to say the least. Don't forget, Miss Delatour is only here for 6 months. Everything will go back to normal once Mrs. Dupay comes back. Suddenly it's Spooktober game, right? Here she comes. Monsieur Chastanet stares at me with an imploring gaze as if I was his only hope. Did you ask for me? Yes, please, take a seat. Let me introduce you to Mrs. Lavik, mother of Jean-Baptiste. You know, your 6th grade student. Sure. Hello, Miss Lavik. Pleased to meet you. I'm Daphne Delatour, Mrs. Dupey's substitute. I'm pleased to tell you I don't have anything to say against your son or his work. He's a brilliant student. Are you kidding me? You must have guessed I haven't come to hear praises about my son's skills in mathematics. Listen, Mr. Chestnut. I'd rather not talk to this. Anyways, we came to an understanding, you and I hope you'll keep your word. The mother tries to stare me down. From the far corner of my ear, I hear the director mutter in his beard. Wait, did he have a beard? No. But I didn't agree to do anything. I don't understand how to deal with the situation. After a couple of very long seconds, I give up and say, Alright, stop beating around the bush. What's the issue? How to tell you this? Your mom's a witch! Madame Lavik would like to remove her son from your class. Okay, good. Fuck him. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I don't understand. Are you insinuating that my teaching isn't good enough? What are your reasons for removing your son from my class? This has nothing to do with your teaching. Miss Lavik, be reasonable. You can't ask us to change classes like that for no good reason. For no good reason? Ah, that's it. You two are falling under the Delator spell. This family of pagan miscreants. You've just arrived here, and like that, you should get away with anything. But I see clearly through your game and won't be fooled like the others. Do you want to tell me? Do you want to tell me what you are? Do you want you want me to tell you what you are? God damn it, Beatrice. A witch. Oh. Oh, it may be unwise to make me angry then. Calm down, I wish you no harm. I have nothing to do with these witchcraft stories. Chat. Chat. I want to pick it may be unwise to make me angry then. What do you guys want? What should we do? Chat. Go for it. Own the witchcraft. Done. If you really believe I'm a witch, maybe you'd rather not make me angry. Stop harassing me, and I promise you'll only initiate your son to the intercept theorem. I would gladly keep talking, but Mr. Chestnut cuts in to stop the discussion. See, I was sure that we would come to a consensus in the end. I hope your fears are lifted, Miss Levique. And you, Miss Delator, I advise you to be very careful about the progress of our dear Jean-Baptiste. Can I count on you? Of course, sir. I assure you. What? Ah, you're in league together. There's no other explanation. You, the Delator. You won't get away with it. I am not done with you yet, you hear me? Then without notice, she gets out and slams the door behind her. There's an awkward silence, quickly broken by the director. Third time she bursts into my office just for this nonsense. I believe I owe you one, Daphne. You really have nerve. I'm not sure if that's... Fuck it. Next time, please try not to ambush me. It's not my place to do your job. Damn, that was harsh. When I finally managed to get out of the college, it's almost dark. Rain is pouring. Again. As if today's events hadn't annoyed me enough, how could she pick up a fight with me like that? She's lucky I don't have any magical powers, if such a thing even existed. I would have changed her into a frog or something right away. These witchcraft stories are quite fascinating. I can't believe the Maltese have everyone at their feet just like that. So, are you standing up to me? Abracadabra. A little curse and the problem goes away. There must be a price to pay. But who am I kidding? These things don't exist. Even if I would like them to. I've lit up a cigarette and I'm brooding, sitting by the window. When suddenly I see headlights of a car in the road bend. I'm surprised to see it turn at the gate and go up to the path of the house. Who could come to see me this late? I think I recognize the dirty gray van with its ladder on the roof and its patched up back view mirror. How's it possible? Why would he have come? Oh, god damn it, is it Frank? I run down the stairs. I open up the front door. Frank? God damn it. I don't think we cared about him at all. My ex-lover is there. On the other side of the threshold, drenched by the relentless rain, My heart goes down to my socks at the idea of seeing him, talking to him once again. Just when I had resigned myself to the fact that he was but a remnant of my past. Happy at first, then not so much. How did he know? How did he find me? I haven't even told him I was leaving. Daphne, how long do you plan on letting me wait outside in the rain? Forever, Frank. Go fuck yourself. We have to talk. But. What are you doing here? Frank is in the hall. He's a little bit annoyed. I'm fine, thanks for asking. I know we broke up, but I don't know. Did it even cross your mind to call me and tell me that you were relocating to the other side of the country? I mean... You mean what? Tell me. This annoys me greatly. She doesn't owe him much at all. If there was like, you know, if all the monetary stuff was, whatever. It just annoys me greatly that he stalked her all the way out here. It's none of your business? I didn't have it in me. It's none of your business. It's none of your business anymore. You said so yourself. We broke up. Alright, then why do I still get your mail? Care to explain? Oh, my mail? Yes, a letter from your mother. I know you've drifted apart. Because I opened it and read it? What the fuck? So I thought it might be important. And then I had to track you down. It wasn't exactly child's play. It would have been easier if you'd left me your new address. Since I'm between jobs, I told myself. I could take a couple days off. Frank smiled at me, looking amused, then pretended to check out the room. He adds, funny, I've always dreamed to spend a weekend in a bed and breakfast, or should I say a castle and breakfast. So do you like it? It's a bit bigger than our old flat on Main Street. Why? She should boot his ass out the door. Do you manage to find your way to the bathroom each time? Believe it or not, I've always known you were cut for being a baroness or something, don't you think, Lady Daphne? Stop kidding. What, don't you like baroness? What about countess or duchess? Duchess sounds perfect, don't you think? Frank is walking around the hall, checking out the furniture and the trinkets. If he's good at anything, it's probably at disarming any tense situation. He's gonna have a witchy accident. And I stab him in the back. I know, right? I don't like him here. I don't like him. I got better feelings about the guy that cut in line. The Maltery's son. Do you mind if we talk tomorrow? I have to admit I'm exhausted. So Frank just shows up at her place, invites himself in, doesn't give her the mail, he just tells her about it, right? And then he's like, and I'm sleeping here tonight, let's talk tomorrow. Fuck this guy. As he says that, he takes the letter from his chest pocket and puts it on top of the chest. Okay, fine. He brought the mail. Your mother's letter. I'm sure it's not easy for you, but if you need to talk about it, I'm here for you. Thank you. Well, I'll go crash on your sofa for a couple hours if you don't mind. He creepily follows her up the fucking stairs. There's like 4,000 rooms up there. I can't let you sleep on the sofa. I'll set you up in a guest room. Even better, show me the way. I wake up early the next day. Frank must still be asleep upstairs. And as I know him, he won't wake up till a couple of hours. I don't feel like getting up yet, so I decide to snug up under the covers for a bit longer. When I think about what happened yesterday and the strangest situation, Frank is currently sleeping in a room next to mine. I can't believe he went all this way just to bring me a letter from my mom. Does he regret that we broke up? Frank has definitely been in her panties drawer. I mean, yes. Ex-boyfriend. is this letter. He's probably done her laundry, too. Is this letter nothing but an excuse to see me again? I was never ready to see him again, not after all he went through. We met 10 years ago. Oh, God. Havok does not care. It was so unexpected. We were on a completely different trajectories. He was a carpenter and I was a freshman at the university, science major. I just arrived in town. There was a party at an acquaintance's. I still don't know why I was invited. I don't know why I went either. I guess when you're 20 years old, you jump at any occasion to go out, and I suppose the idea of getting out of my student room was enough to convince me to put on a nice dress and jump on a bus. Frank shouldn't have been there either. He was working on a particular demanding project, but our hostess had insisted until he had given up and agreed to come. I guess that's what we call fate. The magic operated right away. What came next is very trite. A couple of years later, we moved in together, and it was stupid to pay for 2 flats when we were living with each other all the time. 2 years ago, we took it a step further. Frank's small carpentry business was doing well, PhD, and the question came out on its own. Frank asked me if he wanted to have a child. He was sure of it. He was so sure of it, everything of the strength of our relationship, that he didn't want to wait any longer and said it was the right time. I had cold feet at first, objecting that I wanted to finish my PhD, that we would have to think about it. But he managed to convince me. Oh. Okay, I can see where this story's going. It wasn't hard. I loved him more than anything, and I knew that sooner or later I wanted to start a family with him. Why wait? We were happy. And then, late in the pregnancy, a couple weeks before it came to term, I lost the child. This image is interesting. They made me keep this inert thing in my belly until the doctor decided to induce labor. They didn't understand what went wrong. Frank stayed with me each step. He was holding my hand as I was expelling death from my bowels. Jesus Christ! Then he fought a doctor. The doctor refused to let me see the baby, objecting that it was too much for me to handle. But I saw the look on Frank's eyes when they pulled the motionless and silenced corpse out of me. I hung up to him as much as I could, but I could feel this hollowness in my chest all the time. I didn't want to admit it, but I knew something was irredeemably broken. Frank decided to incinerate the body and scatter the ashes. Burying the body meant naming it, making it, in a way, exist. It was much more than we could bear. I was unable to have an opinion about anything anyway. When the first shockwave and a tsunami it created in our lives, receded, I realized our relationship was doomed. I blamed Frank, myself, the universe. Seeing Frank every day reminded me of everything I went through. And our everyday life became a hopeless ordeal. One day, I finally had enough, so I ended things between us and left. Frank kept our old apartment. I took a furnished flat. In the meantime, then a couple months later, the notary told me that my grandmother had passed away, and she had bequeathed, I hate that word, just hate saying it, everything to me. I take a quick shower, then I go downstairs. Noises from the espresso maker tell me Frank has found the kitchen. Mom's letter is still propped on the chest in the dining hall. I'll have to resolve myself to open it sooner or later. What should I start with? Kitchen or read the letter? I'm thinking read the letter. I'm interested in what Mom wants to be like. You're a witch, Harry. The envelope is dog-eared and a bit yellowed, as if it traveled a lot. This had a foreign stamp on it. The ideograms tell me that it was probably posted somewhere in Asia. I opened it with a shaking hand. It's the first news I've gotten her since several years ago. Something like, what, 5, 6 years ago? I can't remember the last time we talked. Frank has never even met her. She's always been an abusive mother, extremely invasive, but equally severe and freezing cold. When I turned 18, I got a scholarship which enabled me to earn some financial independence, which quickly turned into total independence. I could no longer put up with her invasion of my privacy. Little by little, we lost touch. One year, I excused myself from coming for holidays. The next, I just sent her a greeting card. I started to filter her calls. One by one, the phone stopped ringing. That's how the link was broken. And years have passed without me really noticing she wasn't there. When I tried to contact her, she had disappeared without a trace. I must admit, hardly tried to find her. And now, from nowhere, she comes back into my life with this letter. Her nervous, jerky handwriting hasn't changed. The content of the letter, though, is as cryptic as it is brief. Daphne, please don't accept your grandmother's heritage. Don't go back there. You'd only get into trouble. Regards, Sophie Delator. The closing says a lot about the qualities of heart. I wasn't waiting for your mommy who loves you, but well, Mom never talked about the time she spent here with my grandmother at the castle. It quickly seemed to me that something might have happened, but what? I let my thoughts wander about this as I entered the kitchen. How's your coffee, Frank? Frank is holding a mug of coffee, and he's distracted looking through the French window. So you managed to tame the coffee maker. You know me. Without my daily dose of caffeine, I'm a bit of a zombie. Did you sleep well? Very well. Thanks for asking. You? The bed is comfortable. The silence of the countryside is quite refreshing. It's been a while since I slept this well. Listen, Daphne, I won't beat around the bush. My presence here isn't totally innocent. You must have guessed by now. I think it was a mistake to break up. I've got strange feelings that you're going to rebuff me, but I have to ask, do you think that we could try again? Chat, you get to pick. What do we do with Frank? Maybe we turn him into a frog, thus starting the cycle of Prince Charming. Or the Toad Prince. I do kind of feel bad for him a little bit, knowing their backstory now, but still fuck the guy. I'm going with no. Well, I'm not sure it's such a good idea not after everything. Alright, at least you made it very clear. Good on both of you. To my surprise, his face relaxes without notice. He looks at me playfully and changes the subject. So seriously, Frank, what have you been doing here all this time? I tell him about my life and everything that went down since I arrived. The Borantines, Maltese, this tower with no way in, and this crazy stuff. I mentioned I'm now a school teacher. I also tell him Mom's letter. He doesn't know what to think about it either. So your stories are very exciting, but also a bit worrying, I must say. This is what I propose. Whatever happens, I'll be around for a while. I don't have any contract in the foreseeable future, and I can afford to take a couple weeks off. After that, I'll see if I manage to find some jobs around here. I'll stay for a few more months. What the fuck, dude? Nice eyes. Nice eyes, Hairball. It's not as if anyone was waiting for me to come back, and it would give us some time to think about things. Do you mind if I stay at the castle for a couple weeks until I find a room somewhere else? I'd rather not. Listen, all things considered, you better check into a hotel if you really want to stay around. It's complicated enough without having you in my hair, especially with our past. Very well, I understand. But you should be prepared for me coming for coffee from time to time. But no buts. You owe me at least that, don't you think? I don't think he understands how breakups work. I'll get going then. I don't want to make you late. Before I had a chance to react, he kisses me on the cheek and I hear the sound of the engine of his van fading into the distance. I try to put my thoughts in order as I drive to school. It's quite a lot to digest. The days fly by, fast as an arrow. I must admit I'm not thinking straight with all the happening since yesterday. When I get to the castle, the house is dark. Oh, the day flew by, not days. The house is dark and empty as usual. I'm wondering if I should leave, if I should have asked Frank to stay after all. I would have enjoyed some company, if only for a couple days. No, I mustn't falter. It would have been a mistake to let him stay. Days, then a week goes by. I run into Frank in the market from time to time. We chat a little, almost too politely. One weekend he tries to come by, but I'm out, and he just leaves a note on the door. I begin to wonder if our relationship has become nothing but a huge missed opportunity. I'm taking a walk in the forest. The leaves are turning and the trees are dressed up with flaming colors of fall. This makes you feel freshly baked? It's getting late, but I'm too busy strolling on the path. I realize it's almost dark. I can see the castle at the end of the trail, but as I get closer, it seems to move farther away. I feel like there's a presence behind my back, like a baguette. Man. Yeah. Interesting. Hey, folks. Just got done with a work meeting. Hey, welcome in, DC Bueller. Hope you're having a great day. Moist and scrumptious. I feel like all the baguettes I've ever had are very, very hard and chewy. If you know what I mean. Or am I thinking of a different kind of bread? I just suddenly need a sound clip of Bearded Bogle going, croissant! Hey, everyone, freshly baked? Nah. I should probably make some. I need to make bread again. Just haven't for a while. I'm gonna make bread. I'm gonna make bread with peppers. I'm gonna make bread with peppers. Give me just 1 second here. Message my wife. We're gonna make bread with our peppers. It's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be cheddar and peppers. It's gonna be fucking delightful. And I will post images and make you all jealous. Say sorry. Are you here? Because it's here. It's the bane of your existence. I love bread. Bread is very, like, there's like, bread is a weird thing to make, right? Because you can fuck it up pretty bad. And, you know, it's like a trust fall exercise, you know? You put all the work into it, and you're like, is it coming together? Is the dough right? You know, and then when it starts to rise, you're like, this big relief, right? And then when it finally comes out of the oven, like, that's the moment of truth, right? You know? Because you have to commit hours to it rising. So it is like a trust exercise or something. I don't know. It's... When bread works out, it is very satisfying to me. Something deeply evil, ominous, almost sickening. I start running. The house has disappeared completely, and I find myself in a kind of meadow. There's something there at the center of it, gently reflecting in the moonlight. As I get closer, I discovered an oval pool filled with a silvery liquid. I look at my reflection, and it's both me and not me at the same time. This feeling of alterity gets stronger and stronger as I'm getting closer. Whoa. I can't make out my own facial features, but something has changed. That was cool. That's just T2000? I realize I'm dressed in all black. My hair is longer and my eyes seem to burn with a cold light, almost nefarious. I reach towards the reflection on the surface, my index stretched out, and the mirror starts to stir as if resonating. When my finger gets in contact with the cold, strangely moist surface, it breaks into 1,000 pieces. For a while, darkness is complete. I'm in a kind of garden surrounded by a heavy fog. I'm moving toward the reddish light source that's calling me like a lighthouse in a woolly, muffled storm. I can make out a statue, a kind of human-sized sphinx, carved in granite. There is something majestic but profoundly sad in the hunched-up, impassible attitude of this creature. When I'm close enough to distinguish the face, I realize the creature and I look exactly alike. I see my face reflected in hers like a mirror. Then the eyes begin to animate, and the imploring, helpless look seems to call for mercy. I'm frozen in contemplation, my heart overflowing with sadness and awe. When once again I feel the sickening presence, like a tepid breath on my nape. Seized by terror, I struggle to turn around, and suddenly I'm falling endlessly before the darkness encompasses me. That's when I burst out of sleep. Oh. Oh my. Yep, that does it for me. October. I'm bare feet in the grass. In front of me, the black mass of the forest seems to invite me. I feel a hand on my forearm. Miss Bortine. Miss, I heard a noise. She came looking. He's standing next to me, looking worried. What am I doing here? What happened? A bad dream, miss. Just a bad dream. Just 1 second here. I'm going to open my window. It's gotten, like, hot in here. It's like 77 degrees. Just got like so incredibly muggy in here. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. A bad dream. I miss, just a bad dream. Come, let's get you back to bed. It's the forest, right? The Sphinx calling me? 14 guides me back to my bedroom. I fall asleep I fall into a dreamless sleep. When I rise again, the sun is already high. I am surprised to see Miss 14 is still here, asleep in the chair on the other side of the room. She's sleeping so peacefully, I almost feel guilty to wake her up. Miss 14? Oh, hello, Miss Daphne. I'm sorry, I must have fallen asleep. Fallen asleep, but what are you doing here? Oh, you don't remember? You gave us quite a fright last night. My husband heard you out. He heard some noises and went to check what it was when we saw you. He woke me up, so I brought you back to bed. We were used to it anyways. It happened to Madam, your grandmother, from time to time. Once or twice a month. We used to find her wandering in the garden, and we had to put her back to bed. Must be the moon. The moon? Sure. She used to do it on full moons. They're werewolves! You know what they say, right? With full moons? I don't see the connection. I don't know. There's no scientific evidence of the influence of the moon on behavior. There isn't scientific evidence of this, but there is statistical evidence that the moon causes all kinds of fuckery. Fun fact. And if you work in mental health, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is absolutely true. You can predict very shitty days at work by the moon. I speak from experience. The full moon, it always brings something with it. Must be aware of the full moon dreams. That's strange. I had strange dreams last night. Thank you for taking care of me. Since you're talking about this, I had strange dreams last night. I'm in the forest, but then there's a mirror and a sphinx. A sphinx, you say? It's on the coat of arms of your family, don't you know? Maybe you saw it there. Well, perhaps. The coat of arms? Yes, that's right. The blazon of the Delators. Give it a look. It's carved on the wall of the tower. A blazon with a tower and a sphinx. A bit like the one from the pyramids. I'll take a look when I get a chance. Thanks. Maybe I saw it there indeed. Well, miss, if you don't need me anymore, I'm gonna go to the outbuilding. Gerard must be waiting for me to prepare a snack. Yes, of course, by all means, I'll manage on my own. In this case, have a good day, miss, if you need anything. Miss Bartine leaves the room and leaves me alone with my questions. I'm telling myself it might be time to call Dr. Durant. He told me I could call him if I felt the need. I'm afraid that time has come. I'm not sure he can do anything for me, but it's worth a try. I take the phone and dial his number. Hello? Dr. Durant, it's Daphne Delator speaking. Ah, hello, Daphne. Why are you calling? Yeah, get fucked, Daphne. You told me I could call. True. But you've left me without news since August, and now you're calling me on a... Oh, Sunday morning. I guess it must be important. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I can call you back tomorrow if you prefer. Yo, the fuck up my fucking fuck do. What? How you doing, Loyal? It's good to see you, friend. No, you're right. You're right to call me. That's precisely why I gave you this number. And I'll be more tuned in tomorrow between two patients. I love you, Havok. Oh, thanks, Loyal. I quickly go through everything that's happened since I arrived. I finished with this recurring dream of what happened last night. It was recurring? I thought that was the first time. No homo, though. No worries. There's nothing wrong with homo. Listen, Daphne, I understand why you have called me. But there's no cause for alarm. There's no proven treatment for somnambulism. And everything points to an isolated crisis. Certainly due to your new environment. But, Doc, you don't have an explanation for this dream, dude. You do have an explanation for this dream, don't you? Well, for this, we can look into your psychoanalysis. Tell me, how would you interpret it? Premonitory. I felt like a Let's do that. Whatever that means. If you have us watching. I'm doing a visual novel today. It's called Along the Edge. And I think it's about witchcraft. This girl, her and her boyfriend, they had a baby. It died. They broke up. She inherited her like estranged grandmother's castle. And she's moved out there. Her boyfriend, who I've continued to remind they've broken up, is out in the same town too for some fucking reason. And she's just starting to discover she might be a witch. And it sounds like it's sleepwalking. Oh, thank you, Hairball. That the people that run the sawmill and basically the entire town might be warlocks. Or no, wizards. So this might be wizards and the Daphne's family that were witches. And it was all women. And we've only known about what two guys on the other side. So they might be wizards. And I'm trying not to fall asleep. I don't know. This dream was really strange. It almost felt premonitory. You're entitled to your beliefs, Daphne, but allow me to remind you that you're the master of your own destiny. Don't forget it. Even if this dream was indeed premonitory, as you say. Don't let yourself be trapped by the idea that you can't change your fate. Yes, you must be right. Most of all, don't push yourself too hard. Take some time and think about it. You went through a lot of changes. You have to get your bearings, and everything will be alright. You'll see. Thank you, Doctor. You told me your ex-partner paid you a visit. How do you see things on this matter? It's intrusive. It's terribly intrusive. I didn't move to the other side of the country to have him follow me here. Your violent reaction seems to indicate you still have unresolved issues. Maybe you could take advantage of his presence to go over your relationship. Be honest with him and with yourself. I said get the fuck out. Multiple times. You're probably right. You're on your way to find a new equilibrium. You have to decide if it's with or without Frank. I feel like we did over and over again. That's exactly what I'm planning to do. Gonna kill Frank. So you've mentioned a young man called something like Stanislas. Is that right? What? What young man is this? I've been sitting here reading the entire thing, and I've never seen this name in this. At least I'm like 99% sure. Oh, that was... That was the, yeah. Okay. It's right, but I don't see what it has to do with my relationship with Frank. Don't work yourself up. I'm just surprised you took the time to tell me every detail of your meeting with this man, since you only saw him for a couple of minutes. I can see where you're going, but I'm afraid you're on the wrong track, me and the Meltery. No, it hasn't even crossed my mind. I'm not necessarily talking about a romantic relationship, but I'm trying to point out the possible social issues. You left in order to start anew, didn't you? One last thing, before we go back to our Sunday activities. Yes? How do you feel about your new job? Happy 420, y'all. Alright. I like it a lot. I know I was unsure when I left, but believe it or not, I just love this new job. It was perfectly normal to be anxious in your situation. I was sure you would enjoy it. You were right. Teaching is really fulfilling. It's a great satisfaction to enable these young brains to get a grip on complex notions. I'm glad to hear that. Hang on to this positive element, and it'll help you go through the test. The test life is throwing at you. Alright, Daphne, I'm sorry, but I have to hang up. I'm glad to hear that you're more at ease. And to repeat myself, there is nothing to worry about. It's more than normal to need time to get your bearings. I trust you, of course, but I'm not completely sure it'll work out. Come on, Daphne. You really have no reason to let yourself be overwhelmed by these details. As for your sleepwalking episode, be watchful, but don't be alarmed. You've told me about the wardens living nearby. Perhaps you could ask them to be on their guard in case it happens again. Feel free to call me again if anything else needed. I'll refer you to a colleague in your area. Sure. Okay. Oh, and unless it's an emergency, try to check the day of the week before throwing yourself on the phone next time. Yeah, sure, doctor. I'll try my best to not have my somnambulism crisis on a weeknight. Yeah. All right. No need to linger on this. Have an excellent Sunday. Thank you, you too. As I slowly recover from the night, slumped on the sofa with a good book and a cup of tea, I hear something knocking. I am surprised to find Frank smiling on the other side of the threshold, holding a bouquet of flowers. That doctor is a Burke. Carnations, your favorite. When I saw them in the market, I thought about you right away. He hands me a bouquet as he enters the hall. Would you offer me a coffee? It's not the best time, Frank. I'm sorry, but it's not the best time. Do you mind coming back later? What is it? Am I interrupting your nap? He's come inside. He's on his way to the kitchen. God damn it, this guy. It's there, right? I haven't traveled 300 miles for the attractive qualities of the area, but spent time with you. I have a headache, or I've got better things to do, won't cut it, okay? We're gonna kill Frank. And prepare yourself to hear from me a while longer, since I found a couple jobs in the area. So tell me, how are you doing? Resigned, I let him put the flowers in a vase and fix his 2 cups of coffee. We chit-chat for a while, in passing. I tell him about the eventful night. I listen to him, one ear while sorting out family albums. 2 coffees, and an hour later, Frank finally decides to get into the thick of it. You told me about this tower without a door, remember? I'm a bit intrigued by this. Do you mind if I have a look? Make yourself at home. I'm as intrigued as you are. I'm wondering what might be inside. In that case, I'm going to investigate and I'll give you my report. Do you want to look for an old pipe? It would complete your panoply, don't you think, Mr. Sherlock Holmes? There you go. Stop laughing at me. I'm sure I can resolve this mystery of the Yellow Room. Then Frank goes to do his stuff, which allows me to get back to my thriller and my plaid. He appears late afternoon, his coat covered in dust, and his shoes equally covered in mud. So, from the look on your face, I'm quite sure you're going to say, "Elementary, my dear Watson." Nope, I must admit my defeat. Then what are your conclusions? That there must be an entrance somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Y'all need a sledgehammer. Aren't you a carpenter? Just start knocking down walls. Let's go. I tried to get in by the wall with the ladder, but the arrow slits are too narrow and too deep. I can't make anything out. Even less gets through. Unless I blow up parts of the wall. Mr. Borantine found me doing my acrobatic act, so asked her for a couple questions. Seems like she has no idea what's inside either. Told you. When I entertained the idea to get in by the roof, she dissuaded me vehemently, saying the roof looks like the roof hides, in fact, an older stone ceiling with no way in either. And when I try to wrap my mind around the kind of scaffolding we would need to get up there, I'd rather take her word for it. Well, at least you have tried. Sure, well, I've got to go. Big day tomorrow. Thanks for the coffee. You're welcome. Good evening. See you. I didn't dream of anything that night. Monday was particularly tiresome. I don't know if it's the students who were in cahoots to make me suffer, or if it's just that I haven't completely recovered from my weekend. To top it off, as they get to the school gates, I catch a glimpse of Mrs. Havok, waiting for her son and looking at me menacingly. I'm quite sure she's able to jump on the occasion to antagonize me. After my long day, I must admit it's tempting to try to dodge her, even if it's not very professional. As I am considering my options, I notice she's already walking resolutely towards me. What should I do? Let her come. Bring it, bitch. Let's go. I prepare myself to have a hard time when I feel a hand on my forearm. Uh-oh. It's Stanislaw Maltery. Ah, Miss Delator. I'm in luck. I just wanted to talk to you about something. It's Stanislaw Maltery, I know. Holding a young child by the hand. Mrs. Havok immediately turns on her heels and goes back to outside the gates. Uncle Stan, who's this lady? Well, Pierre, the pretty lady is Daphne Delator. She lives at the castle. At the castle of the witch? You're not a witch, Miss Daphne, are you? Forgive him, as you can see, he's not afraid to speak his mind. Yeah, it's winking at me. He must take a little bit after his uncle. I crouch and put myself at the child's height. Maybe I'm a nice witch. Since I live in the castle of the witch, I must be a witch, right? He hides behind his uncle's leg, intimidated. Pierre, yes? Well, in this case, I must definitely be one, but maybe I'm the nice kind of witch, don't you think? Does it exist, a night switch, Uncle Stan? Of course it does. Miss Delator is a teacher at a middle school. She knows all about these things. Jesus Christ. Uncle Stan is the country of origin of all the weird uncles. I get back up and I notice Stanislas is putting out a hand. I don't believe we've been formally introduced since I cut you in line. Stanislas Maltry, but my friends call me Stan. Daphne Deltor, but it seems you already know it. Of course. I'm sure you've noticed how fast news spreads around here, Daphne. Can I call you Daphne? When my father discovered something was going on at the castle, he had to know what was happening. Please excuse him. The poor man is obsessed by the Delators. But don't let this put you off. The rest of the family is not all cut from the same cloth. We have to take a coffee together one of these days to get to know each other. I'm sure we have a lot in common. Before you have a chance to answer, he adds, by the way, you must have received your invitation for the cocktail party, haven't you? Cocktail party? I hope you're coming. My father forces me to attend, but it's atrociously stuffy. Uncle Stan, can I have my afternoon snack? Yes, Pierre, in a minute. So, Junior wants his 4 o'clock snack. So goodbye, Daphne. Say goodbye, Daphne, Pierre. Hey, my name is Pierre Yves, not Junior. The child takes my hand. Are you coming, Auntie Daphne? It didn't take him long to succumb to your charms. Auntie Daphne has things to do. She can't come with us this time. Let's go home. You're driving. What? For real? Of course not. Daphne, pleased to meet you. See you soon. In an instant, Stan and Junior disappear into a sports car, and I remain speechless on the sidewalk trying to sort out what the fuck just happened. When I get home, I discover I have mail. It's a nice square envelope. It contains an invitation to a cocktail. I guess that's what Stanislas was talking about. Looks like I've been invited to the reopening of the City Hall Gardens that just went through renovations. I bet all the local upper crust will attend, so it'll be an excellent excuse to learn more about the Maltrys. I could ask Frank to come with me, but I know this kind of social event isn't really his cup of tea. Yeah, we're not bringing Frank. No. On the other hand, going alone. No. Like, I saw this thing appear up here, but nothing's, like, lighting up. I don't know exactly what its deal is. No, I'd rather go on my own. Then again, it would be a little dishonest to ask him. Yeah, duh. The D-Day comes quickly. As I get ready for the evening, I'm confronted to an existential dilemma. You saw icons light up earlier? I keep missing them. That looks like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, doesn't it? Right there? I can deduce from the invitation on the card that proper attire is required, so I don't see myself hanging there in denim at twin set. I don't even own anything remotely appropriate for this kind of occasion, but after raiding the wardrobe in my mother's room, I find 2 dresses that might somewhat do the job. A globe and a couple of moons. But it was over an hour ago. Okay. Just choose. On one hand, there's this long dress, Empire style. I guess it's more tasteful. Criteria of an elegant my grandmother. To be honest, I don't see my mother wearing this spontaneously. It's pastel blue, usually the kind of color agrees with my complexion. On the other hand, there's this black strapless dress. Short and tight fitting. I can imagine my mother wearing this. Really kind of garment she must have worn when getting out. Contrary to the blue one, it leaves very little to the imagination between the bare shoulders and the shortness of the skirt. Yeah, we're wearing the blue one. Long blue. Yeah, exactly. Look at that. That's fantastic. What an excellent outfit. I might be a little overdressed, but I like this option. It's most reasonable. Confirmed choice. Well, can we change our mind back? Let's see what the black one looks like, since we're playing dress up. No. 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 First one's better after all, yeah. Change your mind again. Yeah, definitely the blue one. First one was the right choice. You gotta try on all your clothing. Like, if you're going out, you have to try on everything in your closet. It's just the rules. I gather up a quick bun, a bit of eyeliner, some lipstick. I'm ready to go. It's already late when I leave the house. I get inside my small car, and after a quick ride, I'm there. The gardens of the city hall are magnificent, with their trees donned with flaming colors of fall. There's already a lot of people hanging around in small groups, drinking wine leisurely. The guests are all dressed up to the nines. The luxury of the event looks more like a big wedding than a town gathering in a small countryside village. The Maltese clearly didn't balk at expenses. I have barely enough time to ask for a cup of champagne at the buffet when I'm approached by a large man in a black suit. He's closely followed by a tall, haughty blonde woman. I can reasonably deduce she's his wife. Yves Maltery. Ah, good evening, miss. You must be the new owner of the castle. I'm glad you came to our little party. I must confess, I was eager to learn a bit more about the new owner of the castle. Let me introduce you to my wife, Clothild Maltery. She looks like Adam's family. I mean, blonde hair, but you know what I mean. Good evening, miss. Daphne, pleased to meet you. Her icy handshake contrasts sharply with her friendliness, the friendliness of her husband. I can read a mixed contempt and distaste in her eyes. Weird. Looks like my daughter, Celine, has been ambushed by our elder, Mr. Maury. He points towards a pretty young blonde woman on the other side of the path. She's leaned towards the old man in the wheelchair, who has caught her by the wrist and seems determined to not let her go for as long as decency will allow. Yeesh. About my son, I heard you already met him. Yes, I did. Since we're done with introduction, allow me to go straight to the point. I must admit my invitation wasn't totally innocent. As you're about to see for yourself later, during the opening ceremony, we're very concerned about preservation of cultural heritage in the village. I thought he was going to be like, there's a witch burning tonight. You're our guest. And as you may have heard, our relations with your grandmother were, how could I put it, tense. Just let him go. That's what I heard around, indeed. Shh, Jay, just let it happen. Well, I'm interested in the story. And also, my wife ran out to get the supplies and stuff. So, there isn't really much better to do. Damn it. And I haven't been stumbling around words as much as I thought I would, so just keep going. That's what I heard around, indeed. I guess the maintenance costs. Jay's, when is your next stream, Jay? I know, I'm not really around tonight. Well, might be around late, but we were planning on watching Quantum of Solace and Skyfall tonight after dinner, so we can watch Spectre on Friday and then go see the new Bond movie on Saturday. which I've managed to avoid anything about for a week, almost a week now. You love these kind of games get made and have an audience. Just hard to stream. Yeah. You're on tonight after 6:30. Okay. And Friday at 10. Maybe tomorrow 6:30 too. Tomorrow I'm going back to System Shock or Delta Force. I haven't decided yet. I might join you later after the movie when my wife goes to bed. Probably on Friday too. Depends on what our plans are Saturday. There was like a choose your own adventure game that I played. It's the only visual novel I played really before this. It was called One Night Stand. I really enjoyed that. I thought that one was pretty cool. Like the whole premise is like, you wake up and after having a one night stand and you're kind of trying to figure out who this person is. And it's really sweet, and its animation style is delightful. Like it's not a weird or a gross game. It's just kind of sweet. And you can royally fuck it up for sure. It's also like a hidden object game too. I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's on Steam. It's like $2 or something. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I haven't seen all the endings. I just kind of like play around every once in a while. God, my eye has been twitching off and on from lack of sleep. I guess the maintenance costs of the castles are nothing to sneeze at. If you agree to open it to visitors, at least a couple days during the year, the city hall might generously help pay for some of those expenses. It's interesting. Let's listen. Your offer is indeed quite interesting. It is, isn't it? I'm sure it's a win-win situation. The tower especially is an archaeological marvel. Architectural marvel. A building so old, so well conserved is extremely rare, you know. It would be a shame to refuse access to the public, and it would be even more tragic to see it fall in disrepair for lack of maintenance. It's not the kind of decision one can take lightly. I'll have to think about it. Anyways, let me assure you that I come with the best intentions, and I hope with all my heart that your moving here will be under the sign of a new understanding between our families. What do you know about the tower? What happened between our families? Shit. Can you tell me what happened exactly between the Maltese and the Delators? We're in a can of worms here at the village, and the smallest strife can take enormous proportions. My grandfather has a grudge against the Delators since I was born. And I'm not sure even he could have told you the origins of the old quarrel. I'm not sure what to pick here. I'm not sure what to pick. So we have to forge ahead. You're right, it doesn't matter anymore. Better forge ahead. That's exactly my opinion. Listen, I will be delighted to talk longer, but unfortunately duty calls. Have a nice evening. You too. Yzmal disappears into the crowd. Now that I know who the other members of the family are, I'll be able to question them directly. Celine is still struggling with the old man and Clothild. Her mother seems to have taken advantage of her husband's departure to get to the buffet. And after all, nothing forces me to engage social niceties. I can also decide I've seen enough and go home. What should I do? Talk to Clothild. Is chatting with a group of people smartly dressed, a vague smile on her lips. Her face is very hard to read. Is she attending this function reluctantly, or is her distant and haughty attitude really revealing her personality? Seeing me approach, she apologizes to her guest and takes me aside. Mrs. Maltery? Listen, girl. I'm talking with Dr. Zakarian and his wife. If you haven't been raised well enough to understand common decency, I hope you'll excuse me by being straightforward. But I'm afraid I have neither the time nor the urge to help you correct your lackings. So if you don't mind, I will go back to my guests now. I don't know. Enjoy the buffet, maybe? I wish you an excellent evening. Let's get worked up. What? Excuse me, wasn't I clear enough to say it in a way you might understand? Off you go. Bye-bye. Tell me what I did to justify such hostility. You're a delator, and the apples don't fall from the trees. So you haven't done anything yet. But I'm no fool. I know that sooner or later, your presence in the castle is going to generate a catastrophe. My husband entertains the romantic idea that you would be different, that you weren't raised here, that we would hold out our hand to the Delators at the risk of getting bitten again. You understand that I'm not of the same mind. The Malterys are self-made men, not like you, who always had everything. You may choose to ignore it, but you really were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. If you say so. Don't try and hide behind self-importance or fake feelings of superiority, miss. It doesn't suit you well. And stop kidding yourself. Even your pretty dress has a hard time hiding the evidence of your lack of grace. Stop insulting me and tell me why you hate me so much. Ask the slut you call your mother. Where is she? She wasn't brave enough to finish what she started, was she? So, do you think she's a Maltery kid? Yves? Do you think it's Yves' daughter? I mean, it seems to insinuate that his wife is calling her mom a slut. That's kind of my hot take on it. I feel like her character should have the choice to defend neither. Mother's the only one you know. Mother is not a slut. Really? That's a bit rich. You come over heavy-handed and you didn't even inform yourself? Why do you think Sophie left? Why do you think Sophie left? Think about this for a change. I'm not responsible for whatever my mother might have or have not done 30 years ago. That's madness. 30 years ago, you bit off the mark. And yet, there's only one possible issue. And it's the end of one of our families. What are you afraid of? My mother and I are the last Delators still alive. The castle is threatening to become a ruin, and you have City Hall, your sawmill, and more money than you could count. For as long as you have the castle, you will be a threat. But why? But why? Is it about what's inside the tower? I've already said too much. Enough. Stop making a scene. You look ridiculous. I wish I could bid you farewell, but I'm afraid we're not rid of you yet, girl. With no further ado, she turns around, leaving me hanging there, and goes back to her guests. Bitch. What should I do next? Let's talk to Celine. Seeing me approach, Celine seizes her chance to finally manage to extricate herself from the claws of Mr. Murray. I can see for an instant a mix of gratitude and relief in her eyes, and then she comes towards me with a large smile. You must mean Daphne Delator. I'm Celine Maltery, Stanislav's older sister. Pleased to meet you. All the pleasure is mine. I was looking forward to meeting you. Stan told me you were charming. I've seen him with your son. Yes, indeed, he was picking up your son at the end of the school day. Ah, then you met my kid. I hope he behaved himself around you. I know he's a handful since his dad passed away. Well, it's not easy every day. Oh, what happened? Sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you. That's nice of you to say. It's been hard, but I'm getting better one day at a time. And Stan was frantic. Fantastic. He held me aloft during the hard times after the accident. He took good care of his little nephew. And I must confess, he told me a lot about you. Really? He told you about me. He did, and I apologize in advance for his behavior. I know how he can be around women. He might resent me telling you this, but I think he's got quite the crush on you. Me too. I must have been oh, no, that's not what I meant. No. No. No, back up. Yes, last checkpoint. No! God damn it! Ugh! Well, I'm not starting the game over. I thought that she was gonna say, yes, I think he does, and not, I have a crush on him. Ah, fuck. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to really lean into that? Do we start a relationship with this asshole because it's not Frank? Like, what do we want here? Because we could lean into it and see where the story goes. Just commit. Damn it. I'm going to use the restroom. Jay, make a choice for me. Be right back.
Ah, it's already happening. All right. You'll have to let me know how that music level is going. Nemesis, you putz. I left. Oh no.
I'm not happy. Thanks for the redeem, hairball.
Having first try. Yes. Don't glitch out. Up. Super crane. Drops it in the wrong spot. Up. Hey.
Attack! Oh! Well, that was straight up death. And a miss. You know what? You kill one of ours, we kill one of yours. Booyah, mother friender.
I was laughing so hard at that. Booyah, mother friender. So, okay, so Jay says no opinion. Lean into it. Hairball says the game obviously wants. That's what the game obviously wants. Alright, I'm going to go with Hairball's suggestion here. DC Bueller said, don't know about Jay, but I do whatever isn't leaning into it, but I'm weird, Meeb. Maybe. I abstain. God damn it. Do you guys not know how tiebreakers work? Alright, well. Alright. Thank you for telling me. I know it's none of my business, but I hope you have the best intentions for him. Nah. Nah. No honorable intentions from this girl. I'm a witch, don't you know? Fickle dense witch. Stan never got lucky in love. He really needs a stable relationship. Jesus Christ, we're already getting married? We haven't even talked to him. And then it's quite tense between our parents and him. If he could free himself a little from the family, it would do him a lot of good. Maybe he can be my sacrifice. The issue is that he's typically the kind of person that need to be pushed around to commit himself. Just saying, without wanting to pressure you, that I'm counting on you, Daphne. Jesus Christ. She burst out laughing. But enough talking about my brother. Tell me more about yourself. What are you doing for a living? Do you like it here in the village? We talked for a good 20 minutes. Celine seems nice. Oh yeah, dude. Stanley's mother is gonna lose her shit if they start dating. It's gonna be like attacking a cat with a water hose. Yeah. That's gonna be good. Right, Hairball? You know what I mean. But I have a hard time deciding it's not just a facade. And I seem to lose her attention several times until, without notice, she leaves me hanging there to engulf herself inside the city hall. I realize there's a kind of sway in the crowd. I see these tents, but I don't see this city hall. The guests are gathering around the tribune. I guess the unveiling ceremony is about to begin. Someone is walking against the current, splitting the crowd in my direction. It's Stanislas. The Daphne. It's Stanislas. What does this man say, Damon Master? It's something that was in my library, so I'm playing it. Mr. Bars! Raid from Smartass. Hey, welcome in, friends. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. I'm Havok. I only speak English, unfortunately. But, you know, friends in video games. And I guess visual novels. Also, Demon Master, how are you doing today? It was good to see you again. Thank you, Jay. I am alive. Jay, could you also shout out Demon Master if you get a chance? That would be awesome. All right, here we go. Ilianen. I think I said that right. I tried. And New Empty also. Man, these are some great names. Fantastic names, y'all. Mr. Bars is an awesome Russian streamer. We rated him the other day. Great to hang out there. He's very friendly. He speaks pretty good English. He challenges himself with it. Damon Master... I always say Damon. Is it Demon or Damon? Because that spelling of that word confuses me. Either is fine. He's also a pretty cool streamer. Lots of big boxes. He is the department of the Zoom platform, which is a game store, which is also a pretty cool place y'all should check out. It's like zoom-platform.com. Yeah. All right. It's Stanislaus. He's carrying a glass of wine. He seems a bit drunk. Well, here we go. Oh shit, did I confuse myself? I'm sorry. Sorry about that, Demon Master. I'm sorry about that. I confused you with somebody else. Well, that's alright. Still go check out his stream. Good dude. Oh, no. Or wait, you have... What is your title in there? You told me the other day. Thought I'd been promoted. I'm just going to sit here in my slight embarrassment and drink my wine. You're not affiliated with anyone. Okay. Alright, I'm going to continue on with the game then. Sorry about that. It's Stanislaus. He's carrying a glass of wine. He seems a bit drunk. You came. Nice. The Australian with the big beard. Alright, my bad. Are you alright? Something tells me you had too much to drink, haven't you? Cheers, Mr. Bars. I just opened up a bottle of wine myself. Too much? No, just minimal medication to suffer through my old man's speech. What is this madness? This is called Along the Edge. It was free on... Amazon Games. So when you have like Amazon Prime, they give you like 10 free games a month or 6 free games, whatever it is. And it came on there, and I put it on my schedule because honestly, the art looks fantastic. Turns out it's a visual novel about witches and wizards, I think. There's lots of accusations going around. This girl tried to have a baby with her boyfriend somewhere in France in a big city. The baby died. They broke up. She found out that she inherited a castle on the other side of France. I think we're in France. And she just up and moved there. She didn't tell her boyfriend. Or she chose not to. Her mother had drug her away from the castle as an infant. And, you know, they never talked about it or whatever. But she's kind of broken off contact with her mother. And now she's in this town. This is like the other family. Like she's the Delatanes or whatever it was. And the Maltaries, they're the ones that own the sawmill. And basically the whole town, the dad's the mayor and all that good stuff. And there's been like this squabble going on for thousands of years. Also, her old boyfriend followed her here. And we keep telling him no and he won't fuck off. So, that's a thing. But I guess now we're flirting with the enemy. Because I misclicked and told his sister that we had a crush on him. God damn it. So I'm going to lean into that. His mother hates her family. The dad, I can't tell what he wants. He wants to turn the castle that I live in into like, you know, a couple times a year they do like public viewings of the place because it's a historic place. No, just minimal medications to suffer through my old man's speech. Daphne, follow me. Your sister must be around here somewhere. I turned my back on him, looking for Celine, who should know what to do with her brother in this situation. I barely have time to turn my eyes. That Stan twirls me around, holding me against him. I look into his eyes and understand perfectly what's about to happen. I'm trying to hold him back, but his lips are up on mine. God damn it. Luckily, I'm saved by a raspy voice that stops Stanislaus in his tracks. Ah! It's corrupting our youth. Enough for you. Because she's also a teacher, and there's a... Oh, this is the mom of the student. Beatrice Levique is standing next to us, looking at me with a look of anger and reprobation. Whatever the hell that means. Hey, Amora, how you doing? Get worked up. Ah, no way. You're not going to get onto me too. That's it. Yell at me, show everyone your true colors. Even if you're oblivious, I know exactly what you are, vile temptress. I'm doing fantastic. I'm just playing this out until my wife gets home, and then we're going to start working on dinner. Pretty much. This is not my kind of game. Visual novels, reading out loud, not my thing. I struggle with it. But, kind of digging the story here. The hell did blue not work for? That should have worked. Because I should have changed the color. Damn it. We were working on that earlier. There we go. So red works. Does the lights and does the static. Blue did not. That's weird. Ever thought about developing your own novel? I tried, but the fact that I can't draw well prevented me. Yeah, I can understand that. You know, I also helped develop a Steam novel, but got tired and left the team. I was approached. This was very weird. I was approached by somebody on Discord who wanted me to help him write Lara Croft fan fiction. He was insistent that I didn't know what the hell was going on. To be totally honest. Like, I was kind of intrigued by the idea. Have absolutely no credibility in this at all. But he was so insistent and was like sharing like art and all this other stuff. Eventually that like fizzled out and disappeared, kind of thankfully, I guess, because the last thing I need is another project. It was a very bizarre thing. And it was absolutely out of the blue. Like, some person that was in another Discord server just messaged me out of the blue. I mean, like, make storyboarded fan fiction visual novels with me. What? That was probably about a year ago, maybe a little bit more. I won't let you get away with it. Come, Mr. Maltery. Don't let the sorceress seduce you. Out of my sight, I'm going to give you a taste of my spells, I warn you. Oof! Beatrice doesn't wait for me to finish my sentence before throwing the content of her glass of red wine in my face. Like, did her glass shatter? Or did she shatter it into his dick? This is all very, not great. But no way in hell would it be Lara Croft fanfic. If you've spent any time around the diehard Tomb Raider community, well, you already know. You already know to say no. They're something. Right, now slug her, and it's on, right? Oh, that's for you, dirty. Surprised by the aggression, I step backwards, fall over, sharp pain in my left hand. Oh no, she broke a glass, yeah. My cheeks flushed. I have like a ball of heat radiating inside of my chest. This is when we get all carry, right? Dirty what? Dirty witch? Is that what you wanted to say? Stanislav helps me get back up. I feel something warm and moist dripping along my fingers. I realize I must have cut my hand in the fall. See, I'm injured. Are you happy? Oh shit. Since you're so sure that I'm a dirty witch, then I curse you. You're gonna pay for what you did to me tonight. That white fire in her eyes. I love it. What an image this. Is that what you're waiting for? Are you satisfied? I'm a spellcaster, as you say. Why not put my power to good use? Daphne, your hand. Blood has been drawn. Careful what you're about to... I have the perverse satisfaction to see Miss Levique turning white as a sheet. I hold her gaze until she gives up and turns on her heels. Stan put his hand on my shoulder and shakes me gently. Daphne? Daphne, do you realize what... I cut him off and lash out. Ah, that's enough now. Leave me alone. I stride inside the bathroom and wash my wound. Mop up the wine on my face. Most of all, try to calm down. In the distance, on the Tribune, Yves Maltery has taken to the microphone and is about to speak. My dear friends, neighbors, and fellow citizens, we got together to celebrate the start of the fall season. As you all know, by tradition, this time of the year is dedicated to the reflection and remembrance. It's a time when we think about our lost relatives who are waiting for us on the other side. But it's also a time of the offering, when we pray to the invisible entities for a mild winter. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. That's why our craftsmen have worked hard during the summer for this celebration, so that we can be ready in time. So we can be ready in time to show you the fruit of our efforts. As we're leaving summer behind to enter winter, this is the time of offering. As I said, seems like an appropriate time to renew the pact with our protectors. Those invisible forces who allow us, our traditions, to survive century after century, not to disappear because of invasions or external influences, and who bring us luck, happiness, and prosperity every year. So I am proud to present to you a physical representation of our pact, the statue, a symbol of our community that has been deteriorated by years and the weather, has now been made anew by the masterful hand of our local craftsman. Oh no, did Frank make this? Was that the job that Frank got? Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you the Sphinx. It's the crest of her family. Chapter 4. November. Chestnut's the director of the school. She's been transferred to intensive care yesterday night. She's a substitute teacher out here, and she died earlier today. The doctors have done all they could, but they said her chances of survival were next to none. How did I get there? Though we're already well into November, I feel like this cocktail happened yesterday. When Yves Maltery unveiled the statue of the Sphinx that looked exactly like the one I saw in my dream, I felt as if I was struck by lightning. I had before me the confirmation of this tenacious intuition that's been following me around since I arrived here at the village. This feeling that there was something somewhere that would give meaning to all of this, something I was brushing against with my hand, but was gliding around my fingers like a trickle of water. Unfortunately, I got caught up in everyday life very fast. The trimester is already coming to an end. I've been buried under a pile of papers to grade. Frank went back to the city 3 days ago. A job there needs to be overlooked, he told me. He wouldn't be back around till at least the end of the month. I was surprised he came to tell me he was leaving. It made me realize it's been a while since I saw him last. I don't know what to think about this long trip, though. Is he already thinking of leaving the village for good? Good! Fuck him! Fuck Frank! And then Stan tried to call me. Well, by calling me, I mean that my voicemail has been saturated by his messages. He was begging me to pick up. That we had talked, I didn't dare answer. That we had to talk, I didn't dare answer. I don't know what would have happened if I had given him the chance. Miss Delator? Are you okay? You look upset. What happened exactly? How did she get in this accident? Here's what the sister told me. Beatrice... Wait. Oh, who? Beatrice and her kid died? I thought we were talking about the lady she was subbing for. Okay. Beatrice Levique has taken the cliff road to pick up her son, John Baptiste, after his soccer game. The car seems to have skidded on a patch of ice. Why telling me all of this? I feel sorry for her, but why exactly did you come to tell me? He leans backwards, astonished. But you're the head teacher of the class of his son. Ah, sure, right, I see. Forgive me for my bluntness, but you seem a bit offhand. She got what she deserved? I'm sorry, must be the emotion. You can rely on me. I'll do my best to look after this poor Jean Baptiste. I hope he'll find strength to overcome this ordeal. I'm glad you see we're on the same wavelength. Yeah. Besides, I'm sorry to talk to you about it in these circumstances, but I wanted to see you anyways. I know you're only here for 6 months, and that you're probably doing the best that you can. But, how can I put it? Your methods leave something to be desired. I don't think you're really cut out for this job. I don't know what to say. In that case, don't say anything, but do something about it. I'm counting on you to correct the situation. Very well. Alright. We've gone through the main topics, but allow me to ask you something a bit more personal. Alright, of course not. I'm listening. Stop me if I'm wrong, but how can I put it? People talk. I heard you had hard words with Miss Levique at the cocktail party. Did you, by any chance? I don't know how to say it. Well, no need to beat around the bush. Did you, by any chance, and let me insist on by any chance, have any part or responsibility in Miss Levique's accident? Probably not. Absolutely not. And don't tell you're giving any credit to this gossip. I'm a woman of science, and I condemn any of this backwards belief. Let's be serious for a minute, shall we? What are you thinking? That I pin needles and voodoo dolls of Miss Levique in the privacy of my attic during the full moon nights? I'm sorry for what happened to this poor woman, but the cause of the accident is not so mysterious. We're talking about a physical phenomenon that happens every winter and that has a tendency to change liquid water into ice. A solid which has the unfortunate property of making cars skid out of control. That said, if you don't mind, I'm not done with my work, so if you'll excuse me. Sorry if I've upset you, Miss Delator. It wasn't my intention. Mr. Chastanet. It's a nice car. As if today wasn't emotionally charged enough, when I get to the castle, I discover a sports car parked out in the front. Of course, I've already guessed the identity of the car's owner. Walking into the hall, I find Stanislaus inside, sipping leisurely from a glass of whiskey while nonchalantly looking at the family portraits. Wow. This fuckstain just let himself into my house. My heart skips a bit at the notion of seeing him here in my living room. I feel a bit like an idiot, and I try to pick myself up before calling to him. I would have offered you a drink, but it looks like you've already taken the matter into your own hands. I pour myself a decent swig of strong alcohol and light up a cigarette. Right, because sometimes she smokes. It was open, so I let myself in, and I don't regret it since I've been waiting for you for a while. I've already had my second refill. Besides, I thought school teachers ended their day much earlier, don't they? I've been delayed. Daphne, we need to talk. I don't want to talk to you. Kiss him? Fuck it. Let's just do it. We're doing it. I know why you're here. Don't play dumb with me. I get closer and taken by the tie. Okay. He seems strangely to hesitate. But I feel his body relax and he kisses me back. Oh boy, did I just go down this route? What was the rating of this? I don't exactly how to remember. But Stan is topless and we're in my bedroom. Yes. We don't get a lot of sleep that night. And before hentai, yeah, it's gonna be tentacles. In the morning, I'm woken up by Stan, who is stroking my chest gently. A fresh cup of coffee for me in the other hand. Just, yeah. As I was saying before you interrupted me, Daphne, we have to talk. Stan takes a big breath and he starts. Of course, there's my father, his projects, and this old quarrel with the Delators, and his sick obsession with the tower. But when I learned about Beatrice Levique, then I realized the urgency of the situation. When I saw you do what you did at the cocktail party, I remembered everything I've been hearing since I was a child, all these unbelievable stories of witchcraft. I never had real proof that any of this was true, but when I heard she was dead, well, it's been haunting me all day. I had to tell you. Forgive my bluntness, but I have to ask. Did you know what you were doing back then? I don't believe in magic, not at all. Don't tell me you're also giving credit to these witch stories. Don't you find it unsettling? Beatrice Levique dead in a car accident? Patches of ice have nothing to do with magic, goddammit. Daphne, it's been, what, 3 months since you arrived? I don't see how it changes the fundamental laws of physics. I was born here. I've been hearing these stories for 30 years, and neither they're inexplicable. It's neither the first inexplicable accident I've witnessed nor the first strange coincidence I've seen. Very well, let's say for argument's sake that I've cursed Miss Levique. You realize it means I killed her. That's not what I'm saying. You didn't know what you were doing. Maybe, but don't try to understand this witchcraft stuff. But try to understand this witchcraft stuff goes against everything I believe, and that makes me, if any of it's true, responsible for the death of the mother of one of my students. I'm overwhelmed by emotions. I believe I've been holding back my tears since the director broke the news. I burst into tears. Stan takes me in his arms. I let him. I can't believe we got so close this fast, Stanislaus and I. I need a couple of minutes to calm down. When he's sure most of the storm is behind us, Stan gently lets go of his hug, and looking at me straight in the face, holding my shoulders, says, Please forgive me. I've been terribly inconsiderate. Of course, you couldn't have known what would happen. I keep forgetting you're not from here. And besides, no one told you what was happening in the village. So I'm begging you, please don't feel guilty. It's us, the Maltari, and the others who should feel guilty for not having warned you. Here it comes. Something else to tell me? I'm afraid I do. I believe my father made you an offer at the cocktail party, didn't he? Well, yes, about the tower, right? He wants to gain access to it, if I understand correctly. Exactly. If he hasn't come yet, it's that he's building a file with the city hall. Celine is in on this. He's making her work day in and day out. I'm sorry, for her? He wants to frame everything before telling you his plans. What can he really do to me? The house is legally mine. He can't throw me out like that for no reason. The hell is this? This is a visual novel about witches and wizards, I think. Clearly. We're about to hit the big reveal, I think. That's the same question. It's a video game. Question mark. It was in my library, so we're playing it. The story has actually been pretty good, though. Also, I just hooked up with the rich guy's son, so, you know. It's all coming up, Daphne. Look, it's the house is legally mine, so he can't throw me out for no reason. Maybe, but I assure you he's not joking around. Whatever happens, you mustn't accept the deal. Why are you so eager for me to refuse? I know Yves. Whether I've wanted it or not, I've been dealing with him daily since I was born. He's a shark. And considering how much he resents the Delators, I can assure you that he's going to do something that serves his interest, but mostly harms yours. Do you know what's inside of the tower? That would be this precious? According to the legends, the tower would have been built on a kind of magic vortex. Okay. I feel stupid saying that. A little. But don't let it stop you. The Delators have always been an influential family in the area. After editing Evil Gamer so many times, I have learned not to like visual novels. Yeah, they're not my thing either, but here we are. We're doing it. I'm terrible at reading. Like, I hate reading out loud. Hate it. So this is me really, really pushing myself. I feel like I'm doing okay. Feel free to make fun of me. I don't give a shit. Because I'm not stuttering all over the place like I usually do. Not as bad anyways. You're doing pretty good. Thanks. Your family has kept to their traditions despite the law and the name, Del La Tour, of the tower. Ah. That's what that means. Of the tower. Neat. I've enjoyed the storytime vibe. See, I'm not as cool as everybody else who does voices. Well, it helps me prove that you're not just a retro stream. Yes, it does. Type in Havok is a retro streamer in chat right now. Do it. Do it! Jay will show you.
Retro streamer for life!
Ta-da! Okay, carrying on. Goes from mother to daughter, with the eldest daughter being the spiritual guide of the community. You showed that one yesterday. Well, Jay almost got it. Kind of Celtic great priestess, if you see what I mean, since, well, Christianity never really got big around here, as you must have noticed. Yeah, I mean, I start with, like, finding something that I can use. And then put words to it. Story tells me that your ancestors, the great priestess, had a dispute with my ancestors. The family had no choice but to curse yours to save their honor. Since then, the Maltese began accumulating their wealth and prosper while the Dalators went downhill. Let's assume what you're saying is true. It all happened a long time ago. Why keep this old coral alive? It didn't do anything to harm your family. I didn't do anything to harm your family, and besides, looks like the Maltese have already won the game, haven't they? They still don't have the tower. My understanding is that these blessings have a price, and my father wants what my father wants is to lift the curse that also weighs on my family. And the tower would be the key to all of this? But I can't let Yves go inside because he could want to harm me? Exactly. It may sound stupid, but I have to ask, do you know where the tower entrance is? I don't, but everyone in the village knows that it's been condemned after the events that tore both our families apart. Why did no one tell me of this? Don't judge the villagers too harshly. They're naturally suspicious, especially when it comes to us. Should I prepare myself for other revelations, or are you done? I guess told you most of it. In broad outline, but you must have thousands of questions. Tell me about yourself. How's your life? Oh, this just seems so random now. What do you want to tell me? What do you want me to tell you? I don't know. How are your days? What are your ambitions? I feel him close. I feel him close up like an oyster. Close up. Baby, I'm going to feel you close up like an oyster. Moving on. Without meaning to, I guess I've poked a sore spot. I'd rather tell you I have a fulfilling and exciting life, but I'm afraid nothing else but a lazy rich kid. I fail at everything. Nothing that I can't do. Not that I can't do it, but I don't apply hard enough, or at all, and that's probably worse. Hey, Court, I left you a glass of wine on the counter. Did you just open up another bottle? Oh. Thought I heard the bottle opener.
But I found a target.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Retro. Hey, buddy. Hi. What a pretty dog. I'm going to try to wrap up this chapter and I'll be out there. I tried to enter the medicine school, but I didn't pass the exam. I've tried at law school, but I'm not as brilliant as my sister is. I wanted to play the piano, then to paint, but I had to bow to the evidence I'm not an artist. In fact, the only thing that keeps me going is my sister and my little nephew Pierre. I don't know what I'd do without them. And then I met you. I know it's completely cliche and a little bit soapy, and I hope you won't run the other way, but I think that for once, I'd like to go a tad further than just a passing flirt. Dude, we just boned. We boned so hard that we postponed the conversation until the fucking sun came up. Anyways. Me too, He doesn't let me finish my sentence before he throws himself at me and kisses me. I feel kind of a melancholic sweetness in his embrace. Something I didn't think I was capable of. Thank you. Surprisingly, with no less frustration, Stanislas stops and sits back by my side. Well, here we are. That's my life, broadly speaking. I don't do much with my time, to be honest. I don't know why I'm telling you this. I guess it's less sexy than you thought. If you don't like it, it's never too late to change, you know. I think he just told her that he failed at everything. Sure, let's talk about something else. I got it. I'll stop bothering you. Tell me about your family. Your family, I must admit I'm curious. Can you tell me more about them? I think you've already grasped the ins and outs. On one hand, they're my parents, Yves and Clothild. We've been on bad terms since I'm old enough to understand the way they think. What do you mean? I'm going to sum it up. The Malteri way. I would say manipulation and extortion under the cover of good education, and if it doesn't work, they throw money in the general direction of a problem until it's nice enough to disappear. Charming. I'm asking myself, why do you stay in the village? I mean, why so much wealth? They could live anywhere. You mean less far from civilization? You're not wrong, but don't forget, they're very attached to the area with their beliefs, and they're too afraid they might lose their blessings if they leave, I guess. And yet, I'm only speculating. Yves decided I wasn't fit to be the top rank heir long before I was old enough to be in the know. What about you? Have you ever thought about leaving? Of course, I did. But with Celine and her son stuck here, I couldn't resolve myself to leave them alone in the mouth of madness. Sure, makes sense. Besides, I strongly suspect my father might be more or less responsible for the deaths of Celine's husband. Yeesh. A nice accidental death like he enjoys them, be it supernatural or not. After all, since his own son wouldn't do, he needs an heir to pass his great values, right? But it's awful. Welcome to my world. Of course, I'm doing my best to protect Pierre from all of this, but I'm afraid I've already lost the war. He idolizes his grandfather, of course, and with reason. He can be a very nice guy when he wants to be. As for Celine, she's always been kept out of this. She was the perfect daughter of my parents with their traditional values, didn't have a lot of ambitions. I think all they wanted from their daughter was a nice wedding that would preferably help the family affairs. Stan stops talking, stares at nothing. I don't know what else to say. Finally, he's the one that breaks the silence before it becomes too awkward. Well, that's it. You know everything. Tell me more about your father's plans. Tell me about your father's plans. As I was saying, he wants to get inside the tower, and he'll stop at nothing. As I know him, he's going to try to win you over at first. He's currently building a file with the city hall to open the tower to the public, while on the other hand, they would pay for all of the maintenance costs. Could be worth it too, at least. Hear what he offers, don't you think? The cost to keep the castle afloat are nothing to sneeze at. And the money I got with the legacy isn't inexhaustible. I don't have any other way to say it, and I don't have any proof except my experience that the trust you may put in my words. But I assure you, accepting anything coming from my father is a very bad idea. During the time of your grandmother, he was resigned not to get into the tower. But now that things have changed, he wants to take advantage of the opportunity. I'm sure he's about to come over with a very attractive financial setup, and he's counting on your supposed naivety to get what he wants, what he's after. Alright, let's say I refuse. What happens next? It depends. Depends on what? Depends on whether or not you believe in all the witchcraft stuff. It always goes back to that, right? Maybe, but it's a very lively notion for people who live here. And then whatever your position is on this question is, Yves's threats are very real. You won't be the first to oppose him. But you have a lot of cards in your deck right now to manage to be the last. I have nothing else to ask you. Nothing else to ask you. I do. We went into a particular issue yesterday night. Yesterday night. Okay. But I think we should explore the possibilities a bit further. You're making me skip school, but your offer is too tempting to refuse. Give me a minute. I'll call in sick for the day. I can sign you an absentee note if you want. Days go by. And still nothing from Yves Militaire. I must admit I'm a bit worried with what he might be planning for me. I try not to think much about it. What am I really risking? These stories of curses and witchcrafts are just unbelievable. Yves Militaire won't make my car fall off a cliff by putting needles through a doll in my image. But that doesn't mean he's harmless, and I'm eager to finally get through this. And then there's Stanislas. I must confess, I think about him more than I should. But I'm not... Oh, damn it. I accidentally clicked. My bad. Important story plot points we just missed. Frank is still in town. And won't be back before the end of the month. I don't know what I should do. We broke up with Frank. Frank can fuck off. Should I tell him about Stan? I don't know what his place in my life is now. But I feel like I could lose him for good. That's fun. And then there's Gortines. It's been a while. I'm thinking about solving Maltery from time to time. I'm not sure I figured her out. But I felt there was something going on when I met her at the cocktail party. Perhaps I should call her. Maybe we could see each other again. What should I do? Oh, Jesus. Let's hit up the Bortines. When I knock on the outbuilding door, Mrs. Bortine, who answers. Oh, hello, miss. What brings you here? It seems she's put her knit work aside to greet me next to the fire in an armchair silhouette, Mr. Bortine. Something in another room of the house is crashing to the floor right now. Oh no, it's the dog has this giant 1 gallon container that he's like crashing around the house with right now. He looks at me from behind his newspaper, the local daily news, and puffs on his pipe as I enter the room. He greets me with a nod. I was just checking in. It's been a while since we saw each other. Yes, you're right, time flies. When we heard about Mrs. Levique, we were sorry for this poor woman, my husband and I. Good boy caused chaos, yeah. Smells like another trick of the Maltaries, if you're asking me. It's not the Maltaries' fault this time. I'm afraid it's not the Maltaries' fault this time. You mean... Yeah, I think it's my fault. I didn't know. How could I? No one has told me anything. Oh, miss, I'm sorry. If I could have ever guessed the legends were true. Did you hear that, Gerard? We should have warned her. Bortine puts his newspaper down on his knees and looks around with a piercing gaze. Come on, Gilberte. Whatever the word was. You were saying just a couple of days ago these stories were nothing but stories. What's done is done, Mr. Bertine, but if you know anything, it's high time you tell me, don't you think? I feel like there's a lot of things I'm missing about the village, my family, and the Maltaries. You know what? I was hoping we'd get to the end of this chapter, but there really does seem to be a lot more, and I need to go help my wife with dinner. I was hoping to get to the next plot point, but it seems like we've got so much conversation coming up, and I need to go. So there's that. What you doing, buddy? Just tearing through the house with this. I don't know if you guys could hear that. It was incredibly loud. You gonna come back and finish this one off stream? Yeah, I am. I'm gonna finish it. I feel like I could probably get through it like twice as fast if I wasn't making myself read. But I'd also feel kind of crummy not sharing how the story ends with anybody that's interested, but I don't know. The story is interesting, right? Do you guys want me to finish this on stream? Let's look at... well, we can't really look at... Well, let me go look and see, like, we can get an idea of how many chapters it is, maybe? Because I think it's on Steam, too. Along the line? No, what was it called? Along the edge. Four hours, 6 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, 18 hours, 6 hours. Well, some of these people, I'm sure, are playing it for more than one thing. Whoa. What was all of this? Did you see that? They just showed all these other hers. Where was that? Was it not in that scene? There it is. Okay. I'd love to see how it turns out. Okay. Okay. See, now this image right here is probably going to be my desktop background, for one. But... Artyom, Havok. This has me seriously interested in where the story goes, because there's a lot of variety here. Several haircuts, even. Alright, let me, well, I don't know. Jay and DC Bueller, why don't you guys... When's a good time to pick this up? Because I'm going to be doing a different game at this time tomorrow, you know? And then I've got the... I could... Pretty open. It feels like no pressure. Yeah, let me think about it. You know, I almost took this off the schedule today. Seriously. Because I did not get much sleep, and I was like, I don't fucking want to read. I just don't. This almost went off the schedule, but I'm glad I didn't. Because this has been pretty fantastic. Alright. I will think on it. Figure it out. Yeah, I only got like 5 hours of sleep. I had awful nightmares last night. Like, honestly, they were too bad to talk about. Would make a neat Saturday game if you're still streaming then. Maybe an hour before you edit photos. Because that's not this weekend, is it? That's on the 24th. Right? 24th, yeah. Are you dreaming of me again? No, I can assure you I was not. Alright, let's see who's on. I was also thinking maybe I could, like, you know, do the 1 hour stream and then do a chapter. You know, do the 1 hour stream and then do a chapter. That might be what I do. How about that? Wish I knew how many chapters were in it. Because I think we're on 4 now, right? Okay. Live follows. Thank you, everybody, for being here. You were all fantastic. And I'm going to go make dinner. Rewatch some James Bond movies. And drink wine. Let's go hit Dragon Gem. Let's hit Dragon Gem. You legend. I approve of all of these things. Perfect. Let's go hit Dragon Gem. Hey, at some point during the stream, like every hour, did ads play for any of you? I added a thing that they would do like a 3-minute ad every hour, and it was meant to make me get up and take a break. And I forgot I toggled it on, so I don't know if it did anything. No, but I resubbed. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Alright, let's go hit up Dragon Gem. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I love you guys, and yeah. Get this in here. And I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be like, it's like a side-scrolling combat game called Aztez. It looks pretty rad. It's made by a bunch of colorblind developers, it seems like. Their studio name is like Colorblind Devs, so. You know, it seemed like a reasonable conclusion to assume they're all colorblind, right? Yeah, I ended up buying Twitch Turbo as well because whenever I raided, like I can't sub to everybody, you know, you just can't. It's a lot of money. I'd like to, I'd love to, one day maybe. But I bought Twitch Turbo because I would we'd raid, and then I couldn't be there. You know what I mean? Just kept forgetting, and it got really annoying, so I bought Turbo. But yeah. All right. Let me pull her up. All right. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Have a great one.